Oh my goodness. Thanks for being here, Nobushi Nueve. Oh, wait. Y'all make some noise. Okay, hold on. I'm still trying to balance where the audio comes in and out. Alright, now make some noise.
Noise.
Is everything better?
Making
Hello?
noise.
Yeah, it looks a lot better. Looks like you're coming through just fine now.
Hello.
Hello.
I keep wanting to sing that SpongeBob song.
Wow.
Which
What is it?
SpongeBob
It's like beep boop bop.
Oh, yeah, beep boo boo bop, boo boo beep.
Beep, beep, beep.
No, it's boo boo bop, boo boo bee bop.
Nah, man. You're
No,
thinking
that's
of beep
literally
bop
what it
boop boop beep.
Welcome to our
Y'all are gonna break me
Oh, that's
before
what
we
it is.
even
It's beep
start.
boop boop bop. Beep boop boop bop.
welcome
That's
to
what
our
it is.
SpongeBob live stream where we quote episodes from memory for 3 hours straight.
Oh no, Squidward, they've got Mr. Krabs. Call the Navy.
They've got
Not the Navy.
Drew, you always come in with some SpongeBob deep cuts.
That's a deep cut. I like that one.
It's the next line from that same episode, but yeah.
Oh my god.
Because that's the episode SpongeBob has the nightmares after watching the robot horror movie.
Yeah.
And he-
Oh my god.
yeah.
Oh my
Wow.
You remember so much more than I
Holy
do.
shit.
Wow.
Yeah, which was a big guy in a costume running in place,
With
screaming.
like claw-
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
see,
God. Happy
massive
Friday,
amount of
everybody.
storage, unfortunately stored full of random bullshit.
Oh god. So thank you to everyone who is hanging out. Thank you for being here, Nobushi Nueve. So I do have a little bit of a goal, as you can see at the bottom of my video right here. I like good
Aw.
round numbers, and so when I saw that I was at 128 followers, I was like, I want that to be 130 so bad. I want it so bad. So everyone invite some friends, get some people to come in and follow, send out some links. Because I want to hit that 130, and what I'll do is once we hit 130, I'm gonna start a little poll in the chat to vote on a scary game that I'll play. Since we're doing Shadows Over Driftchapel, figured a scary game is a good place to go. I like scary games. I do scream a lot, surprisingly. Rachel was watching me play The Forest, because that's one of my favorite games. I was playing The Forest the other night, and boy howdy do I scream when I play The Forest.
You remember-
scary
It's
fucking
a scary game.
Logan, do you remember when you played the Cthulhu video game?
Yeah, yes.
And that was when our computers were in the same room next to each other, and I was watching your stream like
Yeah,
like
so
this, and
there's a delay in the stream, and so Rachel was sitting like 3 feet from me, and there was a
we
jump
both
scare.
have big old
Yeah,
headphones
and
on.
it's Cthulhu, so it's all dark and eerie, and I was walking into a graveyard, and so you're walking through this like little archway, and the moment you step
Creepy as
through it,
shit.
like this bird or bat or something just whoosh flies at the screen. It makes a big sound, and it's just this big jump scare because it's all quiet. I somehow didn't make any noise. It scared me, and I was like, and I tightened up, but because I knew Rachel would see it in about 3 seconds, and Rachel was leaning like this close to the computer screen, I just stopped playing for a second, and I looked out of the corner of my eye, and I saw it happen, and Rachel had flipped the fuck out. It was so funny.
It got me so bad.
Man.
So
Hilarious.
bad. Oh my god.
Yeah,
and the
so-
ability to hold that in because you know,
Yeah.
like, wait a second, I'll get them.
Yeah, so I found a game that was like a co-op kind of eerie atmospheric game that maybe Rachel and I could play, but that's not on the
I'm a
list.
I can't even play BioShock though.
Yeah.
Scary games.
The
Okay,
Bioshock's
Bioshock
scary.
1 and 2 are creepy.
Pretty scary.
Yeah. You tried
But-
to make me play it and I could not do
I
it.
did. You made me play it.
Yeah. I was like,
So
"Can you
yes,
play?"
two more followers by the end of the stream, and I'll do a scary game stream. I think what I've got on the docket is Soma, a game called Dark with a Q, and Alien Isolation.
Soma is so Alien
Never heard of
Isolation
Dark
is
with a
probably the
Q.
best.
I've been
game.
wanting to play Soma for a while. It's been in my
Soma
library,
is
and
such a good game.
I'm looking
I
forward
love
to it.
that game.
So, 2 more followers. 2 more followers. I'll play Soma.
Time to go make some
I'll
bots.
follow you
Make
twice.
some, yeah, make some bot accounts.
Make a bot account.
And also big shout outs to Shay for being my most recent follower the other week, Aaron for being my most recent resubscriber, and Justin for still being the cheerleader for the month of February. As Logan plays Sweeney Todd.
Sweet Todd.
Yes, absolutely. I think Justin's cheer was 100 bits, so if you cheer more than 100 bits, you'll be the cheerleader. You can dethrone Justin as the cheerleader for the month of February. But do it nicely. Justin's good. He's good folk.
You'll appreciate that.
He's a good old foolish warlock.
Good people.
But besides that, I'm gonna save some announcements for later. I just want to go ahead and get that little follower thing out of the way, because I want to play some scary games, and I also want that to be a nice round 130. An AC 130. Call of Duty. War. Guns.
It's not a very scary game.
No.
I got
It's
Rachel to
scary,
play Call of
pretty
Duty
much.
Zombies
It's a scary
once.
file size.
I did.
It is a
recall
scary
that.
file size. So any hoozle. I think with that, I'm just ready to jump right in if you guys are.
Ditto.
Hell yeah, brother.
So this session is going to be a little more relaxed, probably, depending on what they all do, and provided that no other horrible things happen. Last time, they were prepping, laying out the plans for what they were going to do during their week of resting and recovering from their journeys outside of town and getting back into town. Amid their planning and gathering of supplies and figuring out who's going to be where, who's going to be doing what, developing some sort of buddy systems and, your supply lines of things. That night, however, I think it was a Tuesday. I think that was the day it happens on. The strange animated diving suit that Sludig encountered so many weeks ago made another venture back into town, as it has been doing the past few weeks, taking people, killing people, whatever it has been commanded to do. However, this time it didn't go after Sludig. This time it ended up going after a new face, Portia. The local lamplighter in the town, the person who has been basically keeping Driftchapel even remotely afloat. Like, Driftchapel is in shambles right now, but it'd probably be gone if it weren't for Portia. Like, this is the best Driftchapel can be right now. And that's saying a lot. Portia, without fail, every single night for weeks and weeks and almost years on end, keeping the lamps around town lit, scaring off all these crazy Gloam shadow creatures and deep fish creatures and whatever else. Except this time, a heavily armored Gloam creature wandered onto shore and basically started to overpower Portia's strong lamps and their strong light. So, knowing that there were some strangers who were not totally evil in a lighthouse nearby, called some reinforcements, fought off this diving suit creature, fought off the different monsters using a combination of crazy magical stuff, some clever uses of tools, and eventually got the lamps lit, making a new friend in town who seems a little bit more capable than many of the others. And eventually, I guess another good note is, in the diving suit, there was another one of those weird Gloam sea slugs, but it's like, 3-4 feet long and super thick. But after that, establishing a rapport with Portia, a Raportia, if you will.
Stop.
That's good.
That's bad. That was really bad.
No,
That's
that
exactly
was
what I look for.
Had I bits to give, they would be yours, sir.
The rest of them went back to the lighthouse while Portia went back to her lamplighting duties and eventually to her own home.
There.
Is that... to their own home.
Yeah.
So with that, we're going to kind of open it up a little bit, bounce around, talk about what you're doing during downtime, have some conversations, talk about what you make, and then also, thank you for cheering, Nobushi Nueve! Cheers for wordplay. And then the freaking cat
And the cat
butt emote. I love
Where
that
you
emote.
get that?
I love that. Thank you so much, Nobushi Nueve, for the wordplay. Man, now I gotta start thinking of more puns. But we'll kind of bounce around, and you guys, as we were talking just before the session, you can discuss kind of plans, what you might want to be doing. I'm gonna have to look at that because I want that emote.
Yeah.
And figure out what you're gonna do, how you're gonna spend your week, and of course, you can always take more time at the risk of potentially things happening. But also, that somewhere in town you have Portia Brown, who you can call on as an extra set of hands. You could potentially call on Lavidia King if she's still around, and of course Agnes Wood. And then you have Dieter and Matthias at your side as well, except they kind of live with you, so you can't really get away from them. But yeah, if there's anywhere in particular you guys want to start, we can start there. Otherwise, we can start a little bit with the sort of mechanically crafting things.
Well, I mean, as I mentioned before streaming, Aminah is going to want to spend some quality time at the artist's shop with our dear friend Agnes.
Yes.
So that is precisely where I intend to head straight away.
Mm-hmm.
I know with Sludig's Outlander background, he was going to use the Wanderer feature to spend his grazing period of the day gathering enough food for 5 people so that the 3 adventurers in the lighthouse and Matthias and Dieter all have food for each day.
Yeah, awesome.
Set up some lobster traps, fish normally with a net, whatnot.
We're eating Gloam tonight. Woo!
Woo! Hopefully it's not just Gloam slugs, but if they are, well, I mean, we've seen how everybody else has turned up eating them. They don't look too bad.
Yeah, you
Well,
get some.
they didn't cook them first.
It's true. They
If
didn't
you
try.
cook it, you cook out all the Gloam.
Exactly. And if you get shrimp, that little black line across the back, that's not
Just
poop. That's
peel
just
it up.
gloam.
That's Gloam.
That's just gloam.
Just peel it out.
They didn't
Suck out.
devein their shrimp.
Suck out the
Normies. What are
brown.
you talking about? No.
Like with crawfish or whatever. Anyway. So yeah, Sludig, you're the hunter-gatherer for everyone at the lighthouse.
Definitely. And if I end up with extra time, I would like to help the rest of the party with their endeavors in any way I can. Sludig's kind of a heavy lifter beyond the hunting and gathering.
Okay. So, we'll start with a little bit with Aminah. Over the course of the first day or two, as you come up with plans of what you want to do, what you want to research, of course there's plenty of time for conversations, talking to Agnes about her work and things like that. And you'll probably get a glimpse at some of her research notes that are less of actual research and just straight up just recordings of dates, times when certain things happen, and as accurate descriptions as possible. But I know you had kind of some questions for her, so you're free to ask those.
All right, so this is, of course, after, we've spent a little bit of time in her shop, and I explained the premise of some of the things that Aminah wants to research and craft, particularly dealing with the madness effect that seems to be afflicting a lot of people here. She's going to ask, tell me, my dear, what is keeping you here? I know the Ordisterium has sent you to do your mission, do your research, and it's frankly noble of you to continue it, considering how decrepit things have been getting here. So why haven't you left? Surely you don't value your life that little, do you?
And, sitting in her shop, burning incense, burning candles, the smell and sounds of bubbling chemicals, and she's become more comfortable in your presence. Now, instead of... You're still a hero to her, but now you're more of a colleague since you've worked in her shop so closely with her for so long now. So now, in your presence, she feels comfortable, like, keeping her veil off and, setting her staff off to the side, a little more relaxed. And you see she kind of sighs at that. Says, someone's got to do the research. I have to study whatever's happening somehow. And I'm free to leave whenever I feel comfortable. There's still so much to learn, I think.
I see. A scholar to the end. How noble. Well, my dear.
Is not to get darker than it already is. Is the end near?
My dear, sweet child. Have you looked outside your shop lately? Have you seen what has been going on with the denizens of this town? They've practically gone berserk. The mayor himself is not. I hesitate to even call him human anymore. He's become a monstrosity of what is controlling this place. So forgive my bluntness, but I think it's pretty obvious that something needs to be done before things get much worse than they are.
So it's near. Do you? It's a long shot, but I figure I'll ask. Any idea of where to start with stopping it? Any notable weaknesses, strengths, even something to an artery to attack if I take this back to the Ordisterium and they need answers?
Well, we need to figure out a way to bring those who are not too far gone from the madness back to reality, so to speak. We need something that can cure them of this affliction, whatever reagent that might take. We do know it has something to do with these, and she pulls out the vial with the Gloam slug. And so I wonder, perhaps we can do some experimentation on these creatures, because we have seen them consistently in practically every encounter we've had with the cultists, with the Gloam, with everything that's going on. So this must have some sort of connection.
I think so too. There's almost a degree where there's the ones that are fully devoted, who harm themselves in honor of whatever power they are following, but the other townsfolk, sometimes they're themselves, sometimes they're not. They'll come to my door requesting a simple tincture, and other times they bang down my door and threaten for whatever they need. And I don't know if that's a slug's doing, if that's a desperation's doing. I don't know.
Well, that is a very good point. I would be curious to see what these individuals look like when they exhibit these changes of behavior. So, if it is all right with you, I would be inclined to stay here for a while, offer my aid, offer my protection, and should you find yourself faced with this sort of threat again, then, well, and Aminah, like, mage hands her dagger and crossbow, be like, I've got your back.
She laughs a bit. She says, well, I appreciate it. Now, if the end is near, and I guess, I mean, you still need to figure it out, research these slugs and all these things, and whatever other tinctures you need made, but if you don't mind me asking, if you're so confident that the end is near, what are you still doing here, then? What do you think you have the power to do something about it?
We've got to try. And worst case scenario, we've got to try and get ourselves out of here. And that includes you, my dear. I would hate to see your young spark of life snuffed out so soon. I'm an old lady. I've lived my life. You have far more to go.
Blushes a bit. And at this point, I imagine that... I guess I'll leave this up to you, Daniel.
Mm-hmm.
Of your however many hours spent with Agnes in her shop, would you ever bring up... I feel like you have in the past, but would you ever show how your condition has developed or changed?
I think so. She would be one of the few people that Aminah feels comfortable with, like, completely taking off her headscarf and everything and showing that, yeah.
So she'll, as you move on from doom and gloom topics and start talking about recipes for certain potions and what you could maybe make, what you'll still need to research, you need these kinds of ingredients. Eventually, as you sort of take off your headscarf at one point, you can feel her occasionally glancing and eventually ask, how are you feeling?
You know, after our little run-in with dear old... What was the mayor's name? Horace? Yes?
Yeah.
Dear old Horace. It would seem that in a fit of trying to get out of there alive, that my condition might have been aggravated just a little bit, and she opens up her clothing a little bit just to show the two new growths that have happened on her side. I certainly don't feel much different. I mean, they're hardly there to begin with, but it's every once in a while it's a reminder that pretty soon that this will get much worse than it already is, no matter what I do.
Maybe it's just my note-taking research brain talking, but I can't help but notice a similarity between what you just said and these townsfolk and the cultists. It seems as though they're also on a journey toward No offense, but I guess I'm just worried. That's all.
Aminah takes a deep breath and says, "You know, perhaps you're right. Just a smidge. The key difference being is that my mental faculties are in perfect health. And should they ever not be, my dear, and you see the smallest inkling that I might be going, oh, I don't know, senile in my old age, do whatever you deem appropriate. Or heaven forbid that I, excuse me, that I become completely ensnared by what is ensnaring everybody else. Tie me down, take everything away from me, and do not hesitate to restrain me and do what you deem necessary beyond that."
She nods, takes a moment and fiddles for something, and eventually pulls up little glasses, a bottle of wine. She says, I think, unfortunately, some of the cultists took this off some of the egg-filled fugitives who came into town last, but they traded it for some potions, but oh, he'd let it go to waste. And so she would pour some drinks.
Aminah swirls the wine. We do a cheers, I assume, drinks it, and Aminah goes, I have not had proper wine like this in so long. Thank you, my dear, for giving us this brief little pleasure, however fleeting it is.
Says anything, and of course, now that we've shared a drink, then of course I will kill you if you turn. And she kind of laughs and says, well, joke. Well, kind of. She takes a big swig, blushing, realizes she has completely embarrassed herself. Pours another glass. But,
all right.
yeah, you kind of descend back into work. And, you know, I imagine in these first day or two of seeing what kind of stuff she has access to, what you have access to, ingredients in the area and all this research and stuff, you just sort of preliminary start beginning these plans of what you might make. So, back at, I assume, the lighthouse, we'll jump back to Sludig, who's calmly fishing outside.
What I was more hoping to do is build things like basket traps, stuff that can catch things passively throughout the day near the lighthouse, so that I can help with the others. Like maybe if Aminah's crafting something that's a little more mundane than super duper arcane, or if Kieran needs a little extra hand with whatever he's doing.
So you don't want to do a fishing mini game for the whole session?
Not necessarily. I mean, is it an actual game if it doesn't have a fishing mini game though? So, I guess if you've prepared one, I'll suffer through it for the fans.
I'll have you just boot up like Animal Crossing or something and play that, and just tell me how many fish you catch.
That was literally exactly what I was about to put in chat.
Can I do Minecraft?
Yeah, pull some Minecraft. Look at how it goes. But yeah, you can definitely do that, and it'll all kind of depend on what, basically you all as a group decide what you want from these sort of alchemical creations, because more advanced stuff, of course, will take majority of the work week, but for things like a regular potion of healing, if multiple of you work on a single potion of healing, you can knock out just potion after potion after potion, 2, 3, 4 a day for the every day of the week. Regular potions of healing. depending on if you have the resources or if you're willing to go out and get the resources, things like that. But again, regular potion of healing. Alternatively, if you wanted things like a potion of water breathing or a potion of swimming, things like that, a little bit more intensive. And so basically, if it's the more intensive thing, probably can't help too much with that. But potion of healing, I'm sure Sludig has some basic knowledge of like
Yeah, I mean, I'm
healing
proficient
herb,
in
bad herb.
survival and nature.
Exactly. And then also, I told Daniel this, and Bradley knows this too, but the kind of mechanical flexibility that I've worked with is because you're not in a regular town. You can't just go buy supplies.
Mm-hmm.
If you go buy supplies, you might just get stabbed. That's just how it's going to work. So in lieu of paying money to get supplies, you essentially like go out to forage for supplies, but it gains a complication. So if you don't have the raw materials readily available, or the gold or gems or even a magical item, if you want to try and break that down to some capacity, like you could go out and get them, but as I told the both of them, it'll accrue a complication. So someone knows what you're doing, and the cultists might make a plan behind your back. You might break your tools, things like that. But because of that, that's something anyone could go do. So, Aminah and Agnes could be toiling away in the lab, and Sludig can go out and gather supplies. So, you can still help most of the time with that regard. But I guess first question would be, Kieran, what's your first few days of making your plans, developing your assembly line, all that kind of stuff look like? Oh, you're muted.
Shoot. So I need nitroglycerin.
Oh no.
Cause reasons.
Big Boom?
Would I find that at the Ordisterium, or would I find that at Lavinia King's place? Or nowhere, because that's
Or
a stupid question.
A Dollar Tree,
No, the one of the $12 general.
We gotta go back to the Bog Witches.
You got some nitroglycerin here.
Do not think Kieran would take to the Bog Witches very well.
Yikes.
Because that's what dynamite is made of. I know, like in this land, explosives are explosives, black powder, woohoo! But in reality, it's nitroglycerin and wood chips in a stick.
Yeah, that would definitely, either one you could probably go to. You imagine that you would probably find it in more quantities from the Ordis, but you can imagine Lavinia King would definitely have her own sets of chemicals and things for basic first aid stuff.
Just in case you need to blow up somebody's arm.
In case you need to blow up someone's arm.
Yeah.
You never know.
It's normal doctor stuff. You wouldn't understand.
Yeah.
I guess I will go by the Ordisterium and purchase materials necessary to make Big Boom.
Big Boom.
Okay. This does raise me to a perhaps a slightly awkward question that definitely should have been asked off stream. How much money do I have?
Oh shit. You are a little bit of an adventurer. You've been around.
There's a collecting soldier salary for years, which is nothing. That was not a good excuse.
Oh man. Rachel, I'm gonna put you on the spot while I go get my DMG, and also probably take a little toilet cap break.
Toilet cap.
Okay.
Because that's just who I am as a person. Rachel,
Just
roll
you?
it. Yep. Rachel, roll a d20
Okay.
for me.
10 for good, buddy. 14.
I got 14 gold.
14 gold. While I get my DMG and take a toilet cat break, if you will do me a favor, and please come up with the one rule that Portia will never break.
Oh God. Wait, out loud?
Yeah.
Oh fuck. Okay, hold on. Let me look at my notes here. Was that an evil laugh someone just did?
That was me.
Daniel's still in Aminah mode. That doesn't just show up like
I'm a
Aminah
method actor.
So good. So good. Okay. Let me see. Do I just reveal my whole ass character? The one rule that she will never break.
I mean, it could be something simple like,
Never step on the crack in the sidewalk.
yeah, I'll never
Could
eat
be,
toast
yeah.
butter side down, or I never walk upstairs backwards.
Why would you do that?
I
again?
never
would you
take a
do
night
that?
off lamp.
I don't know, but I you know what? I got a rule against that one.
Drew, what did you say?
I never take a night off lamps. Maybe you take
I mean,
it
that's
that
probably
seriously.
true. That's probably true. She does take it. They do take it very seriously.
Which is good because it's what
I don't want to say anything because I have secrets. But like, I don't know if Logie knows my secret. We talked about my secrets, but we never said like it's definitely this. So I don't know what to say. I mean, I think on the does it have to be something that like is true? Can I? Because okay, there are certain circumstances where they might take a night off lamps, but not even like a full night off, just like a little bit. But only in very certain circumstances. Most like 95% of the time, that is the truth that they will never take a night off lamp lighting duty.
Except that one time.
Except that one time. I was telling them, Logan, I don't know if you and I officially talked about their secrets.
Oh man, that's up to you.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
So
Well, that's my one rule.
I'll always
all the
light the
time
lamps.
Almost all the time, I will all the time light the lamps.
Everyone has a bad day sometimes.
Every night I
Yeah.
choose to, I will always light the lamps.
Exactly. 50% of the time. Uh-oh.
Our
Cams
cams
are
are broken.
broken.
I don't know
Oh,
why,
no.
because it's
You haven't
very
changed
much the cams are alive and well.
Did you like click
Oh,
out of the
okay.
window?
I did,
Look
but
at
usually
my
it
face on
it
stream.
fixes.
Yeah.
Let me
Oh, the
switch it around.
transcriber is going. The captions.
Podcast.
There we go.
Amazing.
We are now a podcast.
I had to just shift out of it.
Unplug it, plug it back in.
Well,
there we
basically, yeah. That's tech for you.
Thank you, Nobushi Nueve.
Yes, thank
Thank
you.
you.
I was not paying attention.
So Bradley, roll a d100 for me.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, 3 a.m.
Oh boy, 400. It's 40.
With a 40, since you have come in here late and you don't have all the stuffs, I'm just gonna convert all of this to gold stuffs.
I don't know what that means. Is that good?
Gold
Is that bad?
stuff.
I don't know.
I think it would be worse if he did it to Electrum stuffs.
Yeah,
Converted
that's
everything
true.
to Electrum.
Mhm.
Wasn't there like a couple pieces of Electrum that we were just like trading around the party one time?
Yeah, probably.
Oh, absolutely.
I think
It's
there
the white
was.
elephant
yeah.
gift.
It
You have to
really
keep
Yeah,
up with it, and then you have
exactly.
to host next year.
Basically. So Bradley, I'm gonna round that up to be an even 100 gold
4,000.
pieces.
Okay.
Basically 100 gold pieces worth of silver, copper, gold, trinkets, little gemstones, whatever you might
Stuff.
have, just stuff, tradable things that can be used for getting resources.
Cool.
On top of whatever you
So
get from your
I've got
background,
enough-
like all 10 gold or whatever.
Oh, I did
Excuse
not
me.
get any gold from that. I do have some stuff, but no gold.
Oh, rip.
In that case, I do not need any nitroglycerin. I need more black powder. I'm gonna make some bombs. So I will go out into town and attempt to collect the materials necessary for some backup plans, some contingency options.
Okay. So if you do that, I think what I'll say, I know I said automatically incur, and it will incur something, but I think I also want to do a check to sort of see how bad it is.
I could go shopping. It was kind of the idea.
Oh,
but
I thought you meant like go out and like search.
Nah, fuck it. That'll be more fun. I'm gonna go search.
Wait, forage for black powder?
Yeah,
Yeah, like in
What?
like outhouses and random barrels on the side of the street, like in a video game.
basically, yeah. Like just check
Smash
every single
all the
box.
pots.
Yeah,
was
I
so
walk into
confused.
somebody's house and I destroy all of their pottery, and I leave.
Pick up the rupees on the ground.
Yeah.
And then occasionally you'll get one with an item in it, and it's just a little black powder bomb. You lift it up.
Ba-da-da.
So I will say, either make
Roll to hit the pot. Gotcha.
to hit the pot. Roll initiative for the pot. Go ahead and make me either a stealth check or an investigation check.
I'm gonna make that a stealth check, actually, because I would like to not be seen. That is a 23. And that's... I'm not even proficient in stealth.
So basically, when it comes to you effectively won't have to spend gold on whatever backup plan you're trying to make, but of course, whatever gold value it is, you'll still need to use that to determine the time it takes, and then of course dividing by the people and yada yada yada.
Which means I didn't even need to ask you how much gold I had. We just wasted 10 minutes. Cool.
Hey, but now you got gold and stuff.
Now I have gold and bombs, maybe. And consequences, my favorites. So yeah, I go looking for stuff. Do I find stuff?
Yes, you
Cool.
find all sorts of, I mean, even just the bit of time that you were down at like the docks looking through some of the fishing huts and supply shacks there's plenty of, rope and line and things like that to be able to make fuses and all sorts of stuff like that. But then also there's plenty of like old metal that you can find to smelt down and to be used as a casing for a bomb. And then of course everyone has a gun here, so all you got to do is search through some abandoned houses. You find some gunpowder, so it's easy enough to search for those things, and of course doing so a bit sneakily, slicking through some of the alleys and avoiding some of the more populated roadways, or roadways that would normally be populated, but they're at least like obvious to walk down. But yeah.
Do I see any like people when I'm out and about, or is the whole town a ghost town now?
As the week goes on, it seems as though there are less and less every day.
Shit. No like flesh buildings, right?
No flesh buildings.
That's good.
See, I mentioned this last time. The fact that all the flesh just like disappeared overnight.
That's more concerning.
Yeah, it's good, but also like,
where did it go?
what?
Did they get the landlord special? Did they just paint over it? And
What's
keep going?
the law of physics?
Oh,
Flesh can't be
God.
created or destroyed.
Oh yeah, it's laws of transmutation. Yeah. I have another weird request though. While I'm out pilfering about, doing so sneakily, I want to take a quick trip near the church, the chapel, just to see if any damage has been incurred by some sort of device that was planted and left in the building for some reason.
I guess
I don't know who would have done that.
This is the equivalent question of how do you open the chest? Do you go during the day or in the evening or at night?
I go during the day,
Okay.
because I'm not walking around this place at night.
Yes,
But I'll
I'm
light
not
the
a
lamps
lamplighter.
for
at
you.
night alone.
At least there
That's
will be
bad in a
lamps
normal setting.
Yeah.
to create shadows that which I will die in.
Yep. So, follow-up question. There was a map previously, I don't know if you remember, but there was essentially like a archway and a fence, and then the sort of briar-filled churchyard, and then the actual church within this fenced-in yard. What's your distance like? Are you gonna stay like well back and like look through the spyglass you took from Matthias, or do you walk up and kind of peer through the fence and?
I want to at first look at it like far away with the spyglass, just to see if I can see anything from that far away.
You can see there has been damage wrought. Glass broken, a bit of rubble spilled where there wasn't before, a bit of singed foliage around outside. But it's also been worked on a bit,
Oh,
where things have tried to be put back into place, walls patched in with best they could. And I think either you or Aminah, it could have been Sludig, any one of you. I think you broke the lock on your way out.
I did. Yeah.
I mean, of spyglass, you can see like a million more miles than you normally could. You kind of look at the door to see if it's in any of the same condition, different condition. Even though it would be hard to see like a lockpick jammed into it or anything like that from this distance. You can at least tell that like the walkway up to the church has been frequently used. The door has sort of been not like fully reinforced in any way, but it's definitely been touched up. Like they've definitely worked on like the lock and knob and everything. So damage was done and it's been repaired, or it's in the process of being repaired.
Cool. I need to get in there and get my manacles back. I'm not actually going to do that because I would die. Cool. I will, take mental note of these observations and make my way back to the lighthouse.
With your spyglass. Actually, before you head out, make a perception check with advantage.
Oh,
Now
shit.
that our...
Something's happening. You said with advantage?
Yes. It's like when we play Call of Cthulhu, Drew, and like, we're just walking around, we're like, yep, I'm gonna go in here, I'm gonna pick up this thing, I'm gonna do this thing, then Ian's all of a sudden like, make a luck roll, and we're like, oh,
Oh, God.
me.
What have I done?
Or make
Yeah.
a spot hidden, you're like, shh.
Yeah, I hate the spot hidden.
I
Oh my
can't believe
god.
you've done this.
I can't believe.
Tell your friends I'll come back. And...
So what'd you
That
get, Bradley?
is an 18.
Bring it back.
18. Okay. So, as you examine up, you can see some of the classic church windows along the bell tower, the steeple, and you can still see a humanoid silhouette swinging back and forth within the bell tower.
He's still there. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm kind of leaning towards that being a good thing, because at least we know he's not like some weird fucking fish creature running around like other people who may or may not have killed player characters.
Never heard of it.
What? Secondary mental note. Gross. Mop it. And I will make my way back to the lighthouse. Changed.
Feeling different.
Feeling different. Wearing my glasses to show that time has passed.
And Sludig, you were helping do stuff. And one more thing before we kind of talk plans about stuff. Portia.
Yes.
Early on, in this week as you are sitting in your home after you've lit all the lamps. You make it back safely, and I guess you can describe, if you wish, kind of Portia's living situation. Like, is her home like nice and cozy, or is she sort of, or are they sort of like a or are they sort of like a bedroll and a meager fire ready to pick up and go at any moment kind of person? Like, what's the living situation like for Portia?
It's a little in between. I rent an attic in an inn.
Your
and
landlord's
so I have,
a
like,
fish
this...
person. Yeah.
So I have like this. Wait, is there only one inn? I don't know the backstory.
No,
And
you're
is
fine.
there?
You basically
Okay.
don't rent anymore. It's yours now.
Okay, great.
You're squatting.
I don't know.
squatting.
Yeah, I'm squatting. Yeah, they would do that. They would definitely be
Yeah.
squatting. So I have like a little, like, half an attic room. The other I have is storage for the inn, but I have like a little bed and a little mirror on the table, and like a dresser, maybe a cabinet.
Mhm.
But it's my space. It's like the right size for me. And there's like a one window that leads out to like a fire escape. That's how I leave most of the time. Just across the roofs and stuff. I'm very athletic. Thank you.
It's very Marvel superhero aesthetic, living in New York with a like one
Yes,
bedroom
$4
studio,
grand a month.
Spider-Man.
running out into the night. Yeah,
Young adult Spider-Man.
yeah.
You do have a crazy movement speed.
I do. I do have a crazy movement speed.
Amid one of these first nights, probably the, we'll say even the night after your bump in with these strangers in that crazy, like diving
Whatever the
suit
fuck that thing
horror.
was. Yeah.
Um,
Did I see it like slurp away? Or did I think I left before
I think you left
they
before that.
inspected. Okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm. At this point, you're getting used to Driftchapel being quiet, especially at night. As far as residents go, certain townsfolk, cultists, and monsters might lurk the streets making noise. But as far as like people, there's no parties, no people having loud conversations. It gets quiet in your neck of the woods. But at a certain point in the night, as you get back and you start taking off all of your armor and things, and you're heavy,
Coat,
rain clothes
stuff.
and anything like that.
your galoshes,
Your
Yes.
pelvis
Didn't
high
I say
galoshes.
I wear like
waders.
Yeah.
Waders, your waders. You start to hear a whisper. First, you think it's coming from downstairs in the inn, but it sounds a bit closer than that.
This would be like dawn-ish, probably. If I was going back.
Yeah,
After a
probably.
night.
Yeah, like 3, 4, 5 a.m. Like,
The sun is coming up.
yeah, real close.
There's not much use for lamps.
But
What
you start
does
to
it
hear
say?
a bit of whispering. First off, make a
We've been trying to reach you about your car.
a straight wisdom check.
Wisdom?
Wisdom.
17, baby.
And if Aminah were here, these words would sound familiar.
Oh god.
You hear someone whispering to you. It's as light as a breeze, but as strong and confident as a tide. And you
I don't
hear
like that
someone
comparison.
whispering, seemingly from nearby, from below you, maybe coming from the inn or outside. Says, "From the stars which are right, I am here. Through a dark reflection, you will see my form clear." And at that point, you almost feel compelled, and you look over to that mirror that's in your little attic room.
Can you say the thing one more time?
From the stars which are right, I am here. Through a dark reflection, you will see my form clear.
I will put the shade, whatever curtains I have over the window, and actually make it like dark. Put out any candle I have, and yeah, look in the mirror.
And is this like a handheld mirror, big full mirror?
It's like a medium size, but it like sits on my side table. Or it probably sits on the cabinet, not my side table. Not that that's super important.
It is for the battle map he's setting up, Rick.
I was gonna say, this room is about 10 by 20 feet. Ceilings are 15
Could
feet
make all the difference.
So you, maybe. You pick up this little mirror and look into it, and you're standing in the dark. But then you see, you kind of let your eyes adjust the little bit, just trickle of daylight that breaks through some of the old rotted boards of this attic. Your eyes start to adjust, and peering around, you can see, all the Christmas decorations for the inn.
Is that what time of year it is?
You definitely. Well,
or is
no,
it just
because
always...
you said you're in the attic, the storage for the inn, so it's all their Christmas decorations, all their yard ornaments, stuff like that.
Yeah, I use all their string lights. I have like red and blue and green and yellow string lights decorating my room. They like flash.
There's a little inflatable Santa with the vacuum.
There's a little one that like shakes its butt.
Use it as
it's
a coat hanger.
With
playing a saxophone.
Every time I walk in the room. That's why I go out the window. Not
oh man, is Portia Brown a Christmas bitch? Always has a phonograph of Christmas
in
music.
The snow.
But picking up the mirror and letting your eyes adjust and looking around you, at the staircase, or the little foldable staircase leading down from the attic, instead of the actual doorway leading to that staircase, there's a different door. Instead of one
am
made
I
of
in my room? I'm in my room. Sorry.
And instead of one made of rotted, splintered wood, there's a door made of hard iron. In the reflection.
In the reflection?
Mm-hmm.
Can I turn a little bit to see if there's anything else different? Like, is there a thing is there light coming from it, under a shadow under the door, or
there is a
anything
light
else
coming
on the
from underneath
walls
that
different?
door.
What kind of light? Like a constant
Candle,
white light,
torch,
a flickering
lantern
candle,
light, some kind of flame.
Okay. Okay. I assume I am compelled to open the door.
That's up to you.
I'm gonna look behind me, not in the mirror, but I'll just turn fully around, still with the mirror in front of me so I can see behind me, but I can just peek around the corner of the mirror. Is the door?
The door is wooden when you look at it with straight eyes.
What if I cross my eyes?
Am I sure that it's wooden? That's player code for, can I make an insight check on the door?
Yo, can I vibe check this door?
Well,
can I vibe check the door?
As you take a few steps to look up, everyone hydrate. Just at a cursory inspection, it looks wooden. It tracks as the wooden door you know and love.
Specifically calls out Drew.
Drew.
I'll go get more water. I drank 2 water bottles since we started. I'm trying.
As bad as me.
Oh my gosh. Amazing.
Oh yeah, Drew's gotta get his crutches to go get water.
No
I'll
excuse.
limp away. We care, Drew.
Care.
Oh. Yeah, add quote, can I vibe check the door? Stop picking at your lip.
Leave me alone. What do you do?
I cannot vibe check the door, or I vibe check it and it still looks like wood.
It's still a wood door.
Can I turn back around and is it iron still in the mirror?
Yep.
Just jump into the mirror. Don't actually do that.
I've read some good fantasy books like that, though.
Yeah.
Very good books. Okay, I will walk up to the door, and I feel like I'm reading into this too much. I need to just like open the door. Is there light coming from under my wooden door?
No.
Hate that. I will grab my wick just for fun and peek open the door.
I like the sound effect. You let out a little fart.
I let out a toot.
And then I go back to bed. So you go to open the door, and when it opens, you almost stumble through.
Oh shit.
And you are hit immediately with rain, the crashing of waves. You feel like you're outside. It's cold.
Are there lamps?
There are no lamps. It's entirely dark except for another iron door. The mirror's still in your hand. You quickly look behind you, and the door you just walked through is gone. But you're standing in the dark. Rain's hitting you. You can feel your feet standing on something solid. But in front of you is another iron door. And this time, you hear a feminine voice. Almost sounds motherly in a way, saying, "Help me. They've taken a part of me. They've taken a part of my soul. Please help me. Help me. You've always looked out for us. Please help me."
Oh god. Of course I want to help. I will walk towards the door and glance in the mirror as I walk over there. Is it showing the rain or is it showing my attic bedroom?
Facing the door, looking behind you.
Yeah.
Facing the door, looking behind you, just black. Dark.
I don't like that you asked me facing the door because now I want to turn around, but I don't think I would do that in the moment. I probably just assume that like, okay, this is useless now. Toss it on the ground.
You toss it, you don't hear it hit.
Hate that. Am I standing on anything?
Doesn't look like it.
Hate that. I'm probably barefoot right now, standing in the void. Do I see like rain clouds and stuff, or is it just black and I just feel?
You feel it.
I hate that. I'm gonna open the door. I won't peek. I'll just open it and start walking.
The door is locked or stuck. And so when you pull on the handle, it just at your grasp. Sludig and whoever else will be sleeping on the ground floor of the lighthouse, someone is trying to get inside. You hear at the door.
Does it have any sort of like peephole, or is it just solid door?
There'd be a little peephole, yeah.
I'll take a look.
You can see Portia on the other side trying to open the door. In the middle of the rain and storm.
Barefoot.
Barefoot.
Portia's in.
With my wick.
Come in, and I start unlocking the door.
And there is a flash of lightning, a crack of thunder, and Portia, the last thing you hear is, "They've stolen a part of me. Please help me." And you immediately are jolted, and you are standing on the rocky steps at the lighthouse to see Sludig's form standing in the door, welcoming you in.
It's late. What are you doing here? Is everything okay?
Why are you awake?
Why are you at our door?
Just I don't have a great answer for you, actually.
Hey, Rachel.
Hey, Logan.
What is your wisdom score?
15.
Make a note that your sanity die is a D8. And I need you to roll a D8 for me.
Fuck!
Oh, and by the way, also roll a D8.
Also roll a D8.
I'm gonna put sanity die and then like sanity score right under death saves.
Yeah.
E8. Hey! 5.
You're okay. You're a little shaken and uncertain and confused, but still solid.
Do all those memories like stay in my head?
Yes.
It's late and it's raining. Are you coming in?
Do you mind if I come in for just a second? I'm on the way home.
I look at your bare feet.
I'm on the
like
way home.
clothes.
I'm on the way home.
Sure,
You're
come in.
at like the farthest corner of the town.
I'm on
like-
the way home. I'm just finishing up.
You don't know where I live.
That's like Bradley being like, "Yeah, I'm gonna fly back to North Carolina this weekend, but I have a layover in Hawaii."
Yeah.
On the way home.
It's a 4-day wait.
Oh, the airport's
So I'll
nice.
go in, I guess. How
Mhm.
big is Okay, wait. So Salutig is like 6'4"?
Yeah,
Is that right?
And definitely burly built. Like, think like not lineman on the football field big, not like Arnold Schwarzenegger like bodybuilder physique, but like strong man.
Yeah, a
where it's,
working man, like just
yeah.
muscle.
Well, like Eddie Hall, Hathor Johnson, just like the people who are doing like world record lifting stuff. So where like they don't have like the 6-pack abs and like
Right.
the ripped muscles. It's like that's just a man's arm the size of a watermelon.
Portia is probably the size of your arm then. You're like fully a foot taller than they are. And so if you gesture for them to come in, they'll just so when you open the door, they probably had their wick like they were gonna start banging on the like handle or the lock or whatever. So just put that, like hold it down at my side instead of aiming it at you. And do you have like, I don't know, like tea or something? It's very cold.
Certainly, I keep a stock from the oldest. I like to meditate myself.
Oh, really? Do you mind if I have some? Or
Not at
share
all.
with me?
I figured something is strange.
I don't know
You
what
have
you're
something against
talking
the
about.
door?
I'm just cold and would like some tea.
But
That's all.
I gesture and we'll come
Okay.
on. This.
We'll shuffle in. Is it warmer in here?
I would like.
Pitter
Okay, good.
patter of wet feet on the stone.
Listen, I'm friends with a lot of halflings. They don't like to wear shoes. I don't like to wear shoes. I have a very strong immune system. I was on my way home.
It's on my way home.
I thought I did my homework.
Oh man, is that good? Oh, now I just immediately flash forward and I was like, man, if Portia ever dies, that'll be their final words, and it's like, I'm on my way home.
Stop! What?
Why
the fuck?
would you do that?
Yeah, why would you
my
say
God.
that? Oh my god!
Roll initiative. No, I'm just kidding.
I'll just find a little corner to sit in near, like, next to like a pile of stuff, so that I have some type of wall-ish next to me, but still sitting,
You
not hidden. But
and the whole time you're here, you're not sure if you've ever actually been inside the lighthouse. You would know that the keeper, Matthias, is very reclusive. He hasn't been seen 5 ever, and usually just gets deliveries made, so no one has ever really heard from him in a long time. But there's something it's sort of a two-part feeling. It feels like you're visiting like your elementary school. Like it all kind of feels weird and amorphous, and you're like, I kind of feel like I've been here before, but I don't think so. And it also feels like you've forgotten something. Yo! Thank you, Justin, for the gift sub.
Thanks.
Yay!
Thank you.
Ooh. Ooh. Now you get those sweet, sweet emotes.
These sweet emotes.
Nice.
There's a bunch.
Which ones are those now? I can't remember.
Oh, geez. Yes, thank you, Justin.
Are they the creamer ones?
I believe so.
Nice.
I think
I
it's
didn't know if
creamer.
you
I
had
think there's
legacy of the
actually-
creamer ones.
I think it's actually a bunch of different ones now.
Oh.
But yes, you have this feeling of you're somewhere somewhat familiar, but distantly familiar, but also you're forgetting something. Almost like you've walked into a room and you don't know why you walked in there. There's this kind of
I super don't know why I walked in here.
yeah,
at
there's a
all.
feeling of forgetfulness about all of this. But you were coming here for a purpose. There was a reason.
I mean, I remember what just happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who that was, though. That was.
Who that was, why you're actually like what's missing, what's lost, what was taken, what.
The voice said they stole. Did she say they stole something? A part of me?
Yes, and I imagine for Portia, the thing that would probably stick out the most, or probably where Portia's mind would jump to first, would be that mother and child that's like their neighbor that they've looked out for.
Oh, do I know about that?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's something about the, you
Are
know,
they-
a part of me, they've been taken, stuff like that.
Okay. I'm very confused, but okay. I'll just sit. Is there a fire going or warmth
Yeah,
somehow?
there'd be a fire.
Fire in this wooden lighthouse?
It's not wooden.
Oh, in this metal lighthouse?
Stone.
Or stone?
It's made of gold.
Yes.
Yes. Oh.
Gold lighthouse?
A gold lighthouse.
That wouldn't be very smart.
Where I got all my
construction.
gold all of a sudden.
Yeah, just
You
go
scraped
take
it off
a
the
dagger.
floor.
Just need to go
Gold
to the store. We're
shavings?
gonna scrape some wall.
Oh my god.
Just bring a brick with you, set it on the counter.
Oh my god.
Um,
So I sit
you said,
with my tea.
and the morning progresses. People gradually wake up, come downstairs to have a nice, lobster breakfast, courtesy of Sludig.
Oh, I didn't want to stay much longer than like a cup of tea. Unless I should stay longer than a cup of tea.
No, I just figured that if people start
Yeah.
waking up, and if people were making breakfast, if you would stay and have breakfast.
I mean, it's like 4 a.m. Do they all wake up at 4 a.m.?
Well, I assume with the sunrise, so,
Okay,
6,
okay.
6:30.
All right, DM, I'll stay.
You don't have to.
No, I will. I'll just awkwardly stay and like not really know when to leave. Just sitting in the corner. My tea is pretty cold.
First, make an insight check for me.
Me?
Yes.
Terrible. Is insight wisdom?
Yeah.
5.
Okay, good enough. As people wake up and come downstairs, there is something. You get a very. The hairs on the back of your neck stand up when Aminah walks downstairs. There's something sinister that you sense about her that just.
I did not see her spider legs
You did
the
not.
other night. No.
But there's just something about her that sets you off, and you start thinking about like, oh, they've taken a part of me, and there's something like, ooh, that Aminah, she's done something. She's not who she says she is. She's a bad bitch. I'm starting drama. But before long, breakfast is served, more tea, coffee, things like that. And what we'll do is we'll take a little 5-10 minute break, get some refills, toilet cat, and then we can sort of open up the conversation of like who's helping with what, who's going to be making what, how many of certain things, who's going to take more time, and all that kind of good stuff. All the nice, gritty logistics of downtime.
Nice.
10-4, good buddy.
I can turn off now
Toilet
this,
cat.
Sounds good.
this maddening, horrible dream, nightmare music.
Oh, good job at creating said magical dream horror land. That was nice.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
that was
glad.
horrible. I
I'm
hated that.
glad.
Maybe I should do like a super cut of all the times I said I hate that.
Should.
It was a couple times. It was, ooh, new detail. I hate that.
Yeah, and there's like,
Every detail.
and this has happened a couple times in this campaign where like I will describe something that's horrible and doesn't make any sense, and like how you said you were like, I don't really get it, but okay. And there's part of me that's like, I want to explain it so you do get it, but I'm also like, no, it kind of
Part
plays
of
into it if
It's
you
more
don't understand.
Incomprehensible.
Yeah, it works. Like if you like don't get it, perfect.
I hate that.
Oh geez. So anyway, we'll take a quick toilet break. And for those of you who are here, Justin, thank you for hanging out. Nobushi Nueve, thank you for being here. Don't forget to invite a friend. I need 2 more followers, and I'll play a scary game for you guys. Full of horrible screaming and stuff. Trying to hit that nice, sweet 130. But we will be right back in just a few moments. Toilet. Newest subscriber, Daniel Buchan. Cute. You can come up with what? That's fair. I usually wait until one of my players says something really inappropriate, and then I go live right after that, so that way it just misses it. Like, no, it's placenta. Placenta Bay. It's Old Bay seasoning, but made with... Oh, thank God.
And it just says placenta Bay.
It's exactly what you think it was,
It's like
Oh
Old
my
Bay,
God.
different.
but made with, you know...
Oh God. That's disgusting.
I
Jesus,
mean, there
sorry,
are
everyone.
women who keep the placenta and they do eat it.
It's full of
That's absolutely disgusting.
It
nutrients.
is, but
Oh,
they're
man.
like, but iron, and I'm like, you can take that from a normal pill.
Yeah.
I know, right?
Do not. Please stop
Why'd
making
you have to do
noise.
that?
Why you gotta do that?
Oh, jeez. Okay. So at this point, Portia, you probably get a little swept up in some tea and coffee and just the confusion of the morning, the early morning as the sun's rising and people wake up, start making breakfast and things. But of course, time is generally of the essence, and so I leave it to you all about what your plans are, what you want to make, and this is where we can take the actual, like, you know, get specific and say, you know, this number of this thing, it's going to take this long, X, Y, Z, and who's helping you. So that way we know how labor will be divided up.
Well, according to the description of the reality dust that you sent me, it's going to take at least a few days for us to at least research how to make that. So I want to go ahead and get that process started like right away.
For the dust, that's actually something that you can go ahead and start making. That's just a very small instant thing that would be made. But if you wanted a potion that's a little bit stronger and do different things, that would take a little bit of research. But the dust, you could make 2 this work week. or even more if you wanted to recruit someone else to be an extra set of hands and do stuff. Or you could you have your sort of crafting menu at your disposal. You can kind of mix and match and, take two different things that take half a work week, smash them together, stuff like that.
You're muted, bud.
Well,
I'm not here to heal. I'm
honestly,
here
I
to
think
DPS.
we're probably better off doing
Just
just
like
the 2 dusts.
Okay.
2 dusts?
I'm out.
That can be arranged. And do you happen to have, I assume not quite, do you have the gold pieces to fund those projects, or do you want to go
More than enough.
more than enough?
Aminah has kept all the gold we found.
I have 23 platinum pieces.
Oh
Yeah.
shit. Yeah. Jesus. So yeah, so if you want to give me 20 of those platinum, that will cover the 200 gold for that reality dust. Jeez.
Shit.
I told you I loot everything.
Shows I only have 8.
She's the rogue. That's the job.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Loki, I will be right back real fast.
Okay. Yeah, and so basically what that will do, it's the equivalent of like a smelling salt or something that's, would be used to bring someone back after they've passed out or something, but instead it's more of a, when someone's losing their mind because they can't comprehend what they're seeing, sort of snaps them back to reality. So it works the same thing as like a potion. You sort of administer it to someone, and whatever madness effect they might be undergoing, it will snap them out of it immediately. So like whenever Kieran was pulling out his own teeth and was going through that would have been a time to do that, and it would have just ended rather than making follow-up saves or making other checks and things like that.
Fair enough. That's what I'm going for.
Sweet. So that is Aminah's work week taken care of. Unless you want to recruit people, do some extra stuff, but we'll jump over to Kieran and see what he's got in store.
Oh, well, now you just reminded me of something. I need to do a medicine check to put my tooth back in.
Oh, you're going to do that? You're not just going to go toothless?
I'm a doctor. I'm trained in this kind of... Fuck it. Let's find out. It can't get any worse. Right?
Horrible mouth infection.
Top 10 things said moments before disaster.
Go ahead and make your medicine check, Doc.
I got expertise in medicine, baby. Could have been a lot better. Could have been a lot worse. That is a 16.
It could have been. You can also plug a tooth in. I know this. I could agree with that. You can't just plug a tooth back in.
If I can't just shove it back in, I will attempt to create the facsimility of a tooth.
Well, what I was thinking of is
Replace it.
instead of like literally plugging it back in like it's a light bulb, you instead
Twist it in.
we'll put some like wire on it and create like a false tooth that sort of like clicks to the backside, so it essentially turns your real tooth into like a fake tooth almost.
Fake tooth.
That you can take in and out.
I can hide things in there.
That's actually
You have a
very
retainer.
useful.
You hide a good berry up in your
Yeah, when I die, I just
1 HP.
bite down on it and come back to 1 HP.
The long con.
That's actually fucking genius.
I mean, we have the good
Such a
berries.
good idea.
Fuck.
It's like the opposite of a cyanide pill.
Basically. I imagine like just in the worst situation, like someone's about to kill you and you're like, I'm not done yet, and you bite down the good berry, and then they stab you again and like kill you again. Like
That's when I activate my second good berry.
You replaced all of your teeth.
you're just gummy by the end of the encounter, yeah. It's basically a retainer just like clicking it up into place. But effectively, you can create sort of a a false tooth almost. So that way
With my real tooth.
you're not lisping.
Yeah.
All the time now. So.
Cool. Then I will. I'm gonna make 3 bombs, so it's gonna cost 90 gold pieces of materials.
Okay.
Actually, no, it's not gonna cost anything because I looted it.
Oh yeah, you looted
That's
all
right.
the supplies.
Fuck yeah. I'm a thief. I will recruit fucking Dieter and Matthias. We're gonna sit there on the first floor and exchange fake war stories while we build bombs.
Fake war stories?
Yeah, because I don't believe anything Dieter says.
Ah,
So do you also make up stories?
You don't know. Make an insight check.
That's true.
You don't know me.
I don't know. Karen actually probably wouldn't make up fake stories.
Kieran's over there playing two truths and a lie.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and of course, yep, cutting all that time in half and all sorts of stuff, you can fairly easily. Let me actually. I'll check. Does that work out to be the whole work week? I don't.
You know
recall
what?
Off the top of my head.
I didn't check. It halves.
You're making bombs?
Having someone help halves the damage. Yeah. And not damage, halves the time. It's 30 gold pieces, which.
That's 120. So take 2 work weeks. You know, times half it by, or divided by 3 because you have 3 people working on it. Oh Jesus Christ!
So 10 divided by 3 is essentially 3.
Yeah. So if you
So
want
it'll take like 4 days.
yeah.
So the work week.
Yeah. So you'd have a free day of just relaxing and fixing your tooth.
In the corner making a weird retainer.
Making some weird gadget and then you put it in your mouth.
Ah, finally I can start the week.
Oh, perfect.
I can't start the morning without my tooth.
Hot cup of
Myself in the
gunpowder.
mirror again. My lucky tooth.
But seeing that Kieran recruited Dieter and Matthias, I do offer to Aminah, if you need any help, I know a few things of the natural world. Maybe I can put them to use towards your projects.
Fantastic. Come along.
Nice.
Portia. As they get geared up to go on their normal, this is sort of amorphous over the course of a couple days, but after that first morning, after, certain fishing traps have been laid for whatever seafood and crustaceans are going to be caught, as they gear up to leave, as Aminah leaves, it's just that, Rachel, you've worked in retail.
Yes.
Have you ever experienced when someone shoplifts?
I
seen
have
someone shoplift?
experienced seeing someone maybe shoplift, yeah.
So there's
Watching
almost like
someone and saying, I think they just stole something.
yeah, so there's that sort of like weird sixth sense where you like see someone and they're just acting a little fishy. They're feeling some weird auras. There's that weird tingle. As Aminah goes to leave, you kind of get that tingle of like, she has something.
Can I volunteer to go with them? Just like that? I'll just say, can I come with you?
With like the pitch. Like...
Would it be okay if I came with you? I'm just like sitting in the corner with an empty teacup.
Well, I assume you're swift enough should we need anything. Sure.
Yeah. I'm super fast, and I'm good at finding stuff out here if you need someone to go find things.
Fantastic. A Hufflepuff
Proficient in
through and
survival.
through.
Hell yeah, brother! Hell
called it,
yeah.
Daniel. You called it.
Dude, Portia is absolutely a Hufflepuff, 1000%. Oh my
I
god.
love that. I love that.
You called it?
I said I love it.
Oh, I thought Logan said that you called it.
Oh yeah, because Rachel, aren't you a Hufflepuff?
Oh yes, I am. Absolutely. Also a Hufflepuff.
That's why I said
Does that make all my D&D characters also Hufflepuff?
I mean, Yeah, kind of. A little bit.
There's at least
Unless they're
some
not
type of
actively
flavoring.
played differently.
Oh yeah, a little bit. So yes, so Portia, you know you can swing by your, you were on your way home, so you can go home and
I was
grab
on
your,
my way home.
Yeah, you can go grab your boots and raincoat, things like that, and meet them over there.
Yeah, just let me know where you're going. I'll meet you.
And so Aminah, you have 2 extra sets of hands, which means you could either make 2 more like uses of that powder, that reality dust, or whatever we want to call it, or you could put them on doing something else, making some water breathing potions. You can doing some oils for giving some swim speeds, or you can have them work on some healing potions. Now you have basically you just get to do another work week because you have 2 extra sets of hands.
That is good to know. Why don't we do? How many potions of just regular healing do y'all have on your person?
I have no inventory, so probably
I
like
have one regular
or
potion.
0.
I have none, but also I have my healer's kit and can heal everybody once a day for a fair amount.
And nobody has any potions of greater healing then. I think by that math, I'd want to make it then 3 reality dusts and then 1 oil of potion of water breathing.
Okay, so 1 extra reality dust and a potion of water breathing. Now, Sludig, I guess Sludig and Portia, and Aminah as well, because Aminah's Miss Moneybags over there.
Ka-ching, ka-ching.
Ka-ching, ka-ching. For another reality dust, another potion of water breathing, it's another 200 gold pieces worth of supplies. You can either just do gold, or you can go forage for supplies and incur some kind of consequence.
I'm going on a shopping spree. I'm using my money.
I got 84 gold.
Money.
I do have a potion of dragon hide.
What the
Which
fuck
I'm
is
Yeah,
not-
I
that?
don't think I don't think you've ever
Yeah,
found out what that
I
does.
would love to find. Are we at the Ortis shop yet? Or...
Yeah, Amorphous, you can do it.
So I definitely ask her to help me identify what this does, so that I can figure out whether or not it's something I can trade her to use if I don't want to use it, or if it's something that is super beneficial towards me. Because hopefully that can at least cover one of those things if it's not very useful, or maybe it's super useful and I get to use it.
Is what a dragon hide potion?
Yes.
This potion allows you to hide 1 dragon.
Ooh.
I thought you were actually looking it up. I was like, okay.
Because I've Googled it. I don't have the DMG. I failed.
I don't even think it's a real item. I think it was something I randomly rolled from a completely different supplement.
I think it's real.
Potion of dragon
Which is going to
hide.
make it very fun, because for 1 minute, you can add your Constitution modifier to your armor class, and you're resistant to bludgeoning, piercing, slashing.
I would like to rage twice.
Same Nobuki.
It's almost like a little...
Okay, so wait,
it's
I
like
already add my con to my armor class, so I
Hello?
get to add it again?
Goodbye,
What?
little boy.
I'm about in a picture.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes?
I can hear you, Rachel.
Yes.
Well, I
Yeah.
can't hear anyone anymore.
Oh,
Hold
what?
on.
What'd you
Very
do?
good.
You just keep doing your stuff.
Why'd you
I
do
will
that?
help. If you need me to roll something, put it in the chat. Or wait, I'll turn captions on for myself.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
But question about the Dragonite. I already add my Constitution modifier to my armor class.
So it wouldn't
'Cause
necessarily
I
be a
use-
huge benefit to you, because apparently you are
Yeah.
already part dragon. But, because it'd be beneficial to someone else, or it could be effectively, if you want to trade that to cover the gold cost, you could do that too. I'd allow that.
I ask Aminah and Portia can't hear us, but I do ask
she's
Portia.
the noob.
So
Or they're
if
the
this
newbie.
gets fair enough, I'll ask Aminah if either she or Kieran might want this. Explain what it does to them.
Slightly higher AC, a little bit less damage when you do take it from.
Okay.
physical
Also,
stuff.
question.
Yeah.
Before I give it away, at any point, can I choose to use my wisdom instead? So when I drink this potion, I use my monk AC now to gain +3 armor class.
Little switch on the back of your neck, just like, and monk mode.
Yeah, now I dodge attacks instead of just eat them.
Guess no.
No. I'm sure there's
Well,
a
it says
save
I get
dice
to
for that.
choose one.
I don't
You
think
choose
just
which one you
at
use.
will. I don't think.
No, I totally accept your answer if no. I thought of that last second, right as I asked. I was like, wait a second.
Could I?
You
What
never
if
know unless you
monk?
asked. Unless you ask.
You know, it's kind of a monk day today, so.
It's a monk minute right now.
Oh Jesus.
But if the answer is no, I do bring that up to Aminah and Kieran once I see him again. So, depending on Aminah's answer.
Well, this might be useful at some point. Are you sure you don't want it, dearie?
I mean, as long as we are able to take this break, many of these things I'm able to do myself. So I figured it would be something the rest of you could use, or maybe I could trade it to Agnes and we'd be able to finance some more useful items for the group.
Very well. If you insist, then Aminah will accept that potion.
Okay. A potion of dragon hide.
Good luck trying to find the dragon after you've hidden it. but-
This is true.
Right.
Fludig hands the potion over and it disappears halfway through the handoff. Like, wait, what? What happened to it?
Oh no.
Where'd I
There was
put
a
it?
dragon inside.
And it got hidden.
So, Daniel, do you have another 200 gold pieces to finance things?
I sure do.
Jesus Christ, how much gold do you have?
If you want an accurate breakdown, as of now, I have 19 platinum, 82 gold, 7 electrum, and 57 silver.
Oh my god.
Nice.
How do you do that?
I
She picked
lose
up
the
all
body
that.
every time.
And,
Yeah.
and me
Video
and
game
Flutter were
101.
like, meh.
Yeah, I mean, what equipment does Sludig need? He's had a gracious cloak and wonderful knuckles placed in his hands.
That's fair.
Other than that, he
Wonderful
doesn't
knuckles.
need zip and zap.
I think so. That comes out. So 200. So 12 of those platinum, and then 80 of those gold. 120, 80, yeah. 12 platinum,
Okay.
80 gold, and then you
Oh.
can divvy out however you wish. One extra of those reality dust, and then a potion of water breathing, which lets you breathe underwater for 1 hour.
Okay, fine.
All right, fantastic. Well,
This is
then
complicated.
I am going to obviously keep at least one of those reality dusts for myself. And I am going to, yeah, this is interesting, isn't it?
Pick your favorites. No. Yeah,
Um,
Rachel, what?
What is reality dust?
It's
And
Too
or
hard as
like,
shit.
does it look weird? I'm
it's-
trying to be suspicious of Aminah.
Oh, you're trying to be. It looks
Me,
like.
Rachel, is trying to have Portia be suspicious.
Yeah.
Like, do any of the ingredients look weird? Like, reality dust just sounds suspicious.
Then go with that. Just lean into that.
What does it look? Does it just look like ash, or
It kind of. It
Is it
almost looks like just like a
glittery?
little vial with a small bit of dust at the bottom, but it almost is creating this like dust cloud within it. Kind of a high pressure situation.
high pressure?
Yeah.
And so, Aminah, you said you kept one for yourself and did what with the other two?
I
Like,
was
with the
thinking
potion?
out loud, but I know I'm keeping at least
Oh.
one for myself.
What do they? What do they do? Where are you gonna put this? What is that? What's
Are
happening?
you asking these questions out loud?
No, I'm wondering what they are. But I'm
As
gonna keep an eye.
I'm gonna say, as you're keeping an eye, you know, they're passing ingredients back and forth, looking for spare bottles. You know, at some points, Aminah might go into her bag and pull out something.
I'm
Be like,
sure.
oh, I have this thing, whatever. And you sort of get that sense again of like, there's something in Aminah's bag. She's definitely taking something. She's pulling the wool over somebody's eyes.
How am I supposed to just look in her fucking bag?
She's gotta go to the bathroom at some point.
Right.
She's an old lady. She
Um,
has to go like every
all of us
15 minutes.
I'll
God.
take
Like me.
a position, like, I'll be helpful, but like
colostomy bag.
stand next to her on whatever side her bag is on,
Uh-huh.
so that like if she leaves, I'll have
Yeah.
like primo spot.
Make either a this would just be stealth check. Straight
Okay, cool.
stealth.
I'm good at stealth. I say as I roll, whatever. Not great. My stats. 14.
You know, Saludig might be over there toiling away at whatever potion he's been tasked to mix back and forth for, 200 times exactly.
That
Agnes-
feels very similar to like write your name 200 times on the chalkboard, or like write "I will not do bad things" or whatever.
Agnes has gone to a back room. Aminah's gone to the bathroom for a brief moment, and you quickly pull back the flap and look to see
Is
this.
there any glowing item in there, like in a video game?
Yes.
Oh, what the fuck?
Is a warm, tingling sensation that it feels like an aura coming off of this beautiful but old. You know, like when you're in an antique shop, there's something that's just old. A golden-looking idol with tentacles and eyes engraved into it. And there's something about it that says to you, like, she's not supposed to have that. She took this from someone.
I take it
Make one more stealth check.
and put it in my pocket. I don't know. Do I have a bag?
It's kind of
probably
big. I
have a
assume you
bag.
have a bag. You're
I
on your
probably
way
have a
home.
bag. It's
so
kind of big.
It's kind of
Yeah,
big.
it was on my way home. No, I stopped by my home.
That's
'cause
what I
was
mean.
on
You
the
got
way.
your bag on your while you
Yeah.
were home.
Another stealth check.
Yep.
15 this time.
15 this time.
Do I
15
notice them
this
going
time.
through Aminah's bag?
What is your passive wisdom, Drew?
17?
Fuck me! Shit!
So the slight flip of like the backpack flap is not enough to draw much attention, especially just because you're all hanging out brewing some potions. Whereas Portia feels this sort of warmth and calling to this thing of like, no, this is not supposed to be here. I need to return this. This is
Right.
wrong. She's not supposed to have this.
This isn't hers.
It's not hers. Sludig, there's a distant crashing of waves in the back of your mind and a cold chill like a ocean breeze. And when you glance over, you see Portia pulling this idol very quickly from the bag. But you also notice a vacancy in Portia's gaze that you've seen in other townsfolk, in your own companions when they start to lose their sort of sense of reality. There's something wrong with Portia that's causing her to do this.
I
I would say it immediately reminds you of Finch, that gentleman from the church. in the bell tower.
I use a key point to Step of the Wind to move super fast, get over there as soon as I see that, and grab her wrist and say, "That's for no one to touch. It's an item of a dead companion. Leave it alone."
And with Sludig moving that quickly, do we take notice? Like that's gotta.
Yeah, I'm sure you hear his heavy footsteps thudding across the shop floor.
You move that fast, but at what cost?
Stealth, good luck.
I want you guys to think.
And
you- go
Portia,
ahead.
I want to say there is this moment of defensiveness where you reel back, and probably to Sludig, reels back probably pretty quickly, a lot faster than you originally think. But then, Portia, you're immediately met with a cold chill again. You're holding this ice cold golden statue in your hand, and you at this point have forgotten what you were doing. You're like, why am I and it feels slimy to the touch. It feels just gross and unnatural in your hand.
You have my like wrist or whatever,
Yeah.
and it's in my hand. I will
What
just
do you-
like immediately drop it.
What are you
Thuds to the
doing?
floor.
I don't. What?
Me or the message? Oh, but what do you-
Sludig.
sorry. What are you doing going through Aminah's bag? These are not yours. Came here to help, and we have helped you.
I was. I don't really know. I was
I
just
just
getting something out of her bag,
You.
but I don't need it anymore.
Do I
Seeing as the, oh, sorry.
see anything? Like, does Aminah see something wrong with her face?
I imagine,
eyes,
yeah,
anything?
once Aminah comes back, go ahead and make an insight check for me, Daniel.
But while Daniel rolls, seeing as though they let go of the idol, I let go of their hand, but I put myself between them and the bag.
I got a
So
4.
I get like a. Oh.
At the very least, like Sludig, there is a similar confusion on Portia's face. And at the very least, what I will give you, Daniel, is you recall a sort of similar experience with this idol on a couple of occasions, especially when you first found it. This sort of vacancy when you found it. It almost just ended up in your hand. And you can sort of see that reflected a little bit in Portia.
Well, considering that we've had plenty of experience with things like these, Aminah is not going to hesitate for a second, and she reaches for one of her newly crafted bits of reality dust, and as Sludig is pinning her to wherever she is, wherever they are, excuse me.
No, I already let
Um,
go, but I just
oh.
kind of put myself between
Well,
them and the bag.
I'm just standing there, like.
Well, Aminah is just going to rush in, crack that open right in front of their face.
Yeah, and that's actually good because I was actually about to have Rachel roll a sanity check, but instead, what I will say is, Portia, you immediately become aware of what has happened. You've seen it happen to the other townsfolk of effectively becoming possessed. They start acting against their own volition, pursuing certain things, and you sort of, the reality sets in of you were being manipulated to get this object by a greater force. You were led to get this.
What? What?
I knew it. Well, at least we know it works now.
Is that? What is that? What was?
This, my dearie, is the very thing that stopped you from doing something you are about to regret. This snapped you out of whatever stupor whatever stupor this supernatural entity has had on multiple individuals in this town, in this world. It is the very thing that we are using to try and combat this evil.
well, it works. Will it come back? That was, I did not like that. Not having control over. I did not like that. I don't want this big man having to come at me anymore.
It may.
And I want to make my
help
own
you.
decisions.
It may help if you know what that is, and he points at the bag. Exactly what it is, unless Aminah knows, I don't. It was a possession of a companion of ours. We lost him returning from the bogs. Some of these strange creatures managed to drag him down into the ocean, and once this had fallen away from his body, they seemed to leave him for it, so we know it's something important to whatever cause they're doing, something to do with Katu.
Do I recognize the name Katu?
Oh yeah, that's the evil deity that these cultists seem to follow.
Gotcha.
And there was a strange man in the bell tower of the chapel. He was carving similar idols out of wood, out of stone. None quite to the detail as this one, but clearly they're looking for it if they're taking control of random people.
I don't remember that happening for a long time, but that's why I showed up at your door this morning. I think somebody was telling me, I mean, not at your door specifically, but like somebody was telling me that they, I guess it meant you guys had something that had been stolen, and literally like the idol was like glowing. Was it?
Does it glow
not
for the rest
anymore.
of us?
Yeah, do we see that?
It doesn't, but Aminah, that first time you picked it up, it did have sort of a faint luminescence to it.
I don't really know what I was gonna do with it, but it was like some woman needed it.
And how did you, when did these voices start? Was there anything you can remember that caused them?
I don't know. I don't know. I know that I had some kind of, I guess it must have been like a hallucination or something when I was in my room this morning, because that was when this time they started saying that they were missing something that you had stolen from them. But I don't know how long. If they can do this, I assume my memory isn't good anymore, or anything is not good anymore. I don't know.
I wouldn't say you can't trust your entire memory, but one thing I do know is that if Katu wants this thing, I want her not to have it. So if you wish to be with us, well, know that we will be keeping this from her in whatever way necessary.
Logan, pitch into this if I'm not getting any of these details correct, but I was trying to scour my notes for stuff in our previous sessions about this particular thing, and just let me know if any of this is like not right. But from what I have here, after like letting the situation calm a little bit, Aminah basically says, I can't really explain it very well myself. I'm still trying to figure out why this is why I know this, why this is important, but
Yeah, you were
that
bad.
statue.
Oh wait, you're not saying this to us, are you?
That statue
Oh, okay.
is a part of whatever this Katu entity is. Like, it's a part of its life force almost.
Life
And-
force?
Like, perhaps part of its soul is there.
I mean, that would make sense, but I mean, do you know how your friend came across it?
That's
So-
rub.
Drew knows the story. Does Sludig know it? I think we talked about it, but I can't remember if that was like at the end of the session after things are out of character, or if
Right.
it was like right after we found Kamin missing an arm holding the statue.
The story of how Kamin has that?
Yeah.
I don't think it ever, because it was not found until Kamin was
Yeah.
dead.
Yeah.
I don't think we ever
It
found
like
it.
out.
fell
Never came
out
out.
of his
Yeah.
equipment, and that's where we saw it, and they were going after it. And I was like,
And,
well, that
and
seems
that was
important.
kind of also that brought up a weird point of contention of, did Kamin have this the whole time? Where did that come from? Why didn't he say anything? Did he know? All sorts of stuff.
So you don't know
No.
where it came from? Well, who was your friend? Were they connected
Some
to?
jackass.
He had some alien thing, alien ball.
I assume if you were friends, they were a good person. Were they
Kamin
possessed?
was a decent fellow. I don't think he
Aye.
was possessed.
He was
He
There were
certainly
definitely some strange things about him. I mean, he did this thing with his jaw, nothing too intense. Other than that,
he did
He
this thing.
with
He-
his jaw.
He used to grind his teeth. It was a real
Yeah.
annoyance, real nuisance.
no, before he was an adventurer, I believe he was. See, that's the thing. I can't remember if Sludig knows that or Drew knows that. I don't know if.
I think Aminah's the one who knows the most, just as far as they had similar afflictions. But
Similar afflictions, but
even then, like, not even much. I think.
Kamin didn't know that much.
Yeah, exactly. Kamin was learning this stuff in session, and Kamin didn't really share that stuff with you guys because he didn't know what was going on. And right before he was about to maybe try and figure it all out, he
Dead.
fucking died.
But that puts
So-
us in such a weird
It's
situation
such a
because
weird-
we know even less than you were beginning to know.
And I'm just sitting in a lighthouse making bombs with two old guys.
Oh my god. So you don't know who he was or how he came to have this. Have y'all ever been like possessed?
To the best of my knowledge, I haven't.
Aminah is going to she at first was like, well, of course not, and then she starts thinking about it
Yikes.
a little bit more, and she recalls way back when, on their way to the Erwile Bog, a particularly intense dream that she had about herself basically crashing into and destroying the Rivermouth Inn in a way that sounds oddly familiar to a creature that we fought. And after sitting with that memory, she shares, I am not so sure
don't
that
think
I
so.
might not have.
He's
And
taking
she goes
way
on to
too much
share that
damage.
dream
This-
with the group.
Yeah, and Portia, you distinctly remember, literally like the week before, I think it was exactly before, maybe the week before that, but this armored diving behemoth coming into town, smashing through the Rivermouth Inn and taking and killing a bunch of people in the inn, and then receding back into the ocean. Basically,
and that's what
yeah, exactly.
Amina's
Basically, the
dream?
details that Aminah describes, that happened.
You know that's real. That happened.
I was afraid of that. And
That who was in the suit that was the other night?
I have no idea. I frankly have
'Cause
no
they were
idea.
The same.
And at this point, Agnes speaks up and says, was there anything in the suit? What is it?
You've
Well, I don't
seen
know.
the slugs before, the little ones, the black
Yeah,
one.
those?
There was one about yay big.
She
shit.
kind of like fidgets for a second, eventually leans over to Aminah, tries to whisper, but it's a small shop, so it's hard to have any kind of secret exchange, but it's at least somewhat comfortable company. To Aminah, Agnes will say, like, maybe it's your condition, what the source of it. Maybe it gives you some kind of strange connection, some kind of, I don't know. I'm just assuming that your condition is of the G word, and if this creature is also of the G word magic, then maybe you're connected to some gazpacho. Your condition comes from the G spot, and if this magic also comes from the G spot, then
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
But effectively, Agnes suggests that maybe because of your condition, it gives you some kind of free disposition, it's just some kind of connection to these creatures, that thing.
I mean,
Well, the witches of the bog say they are attuned to the Gloam in a similar way. These are things that I had suspicions of, but were not daring enough to say out loud.
That's okay. That doesn't necessarily mean anything. It could be a good thing. You could have some kind of leg up. We could manipulate that in some way. It could work. It could work.
I don't have a condition.
What? No. Yes.
Why
no.
did I?
Mhm.
How do you? You say that you had that dream because you have a condition? I don't have a condition.
Aminah lets out a long sigh and says, "How? I hope you have a strong constitution." And starts undoing the headscarf and reveals the spiderness of her condition, and it basically says, "This is my life story, and blah 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 blah. This is why it happened."
What exactly is the spider-ness other than the arms, the extra legs,
so
and also how many legs?
So her hair, which would normally be like super long, like luscious black hair, is like starting to have the texture of like spider's fur, like a tarantula kind of thing. And one of her eyes, the one that she keeps covered up, is like starting to do the thing where it's splitting into multiple
segments.
Yeah,
It's
sort
like
of.
simple eyes, kind of like bug eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not to mention, like, her mouth is like all sorts of like screwed up with her teeth turning into things and all that sort of stuff. You know, the thing.
You know, it's that thing. Are we? So what are you okay? Like, are you?
I mean, about as okay as anybody can be in here. I mean, my dear, I've lived my life, pretty much my whole life with this, and I've been doing my best to subdue it all these years, but at the ripe old age I am, it is about time that it's gotten to me. Do you think this is bad? You should see my sister.
Saluted gets a 1,000-yard stare for a second about the giant rose monster.
Oh my god. Well, I mean, the other day you were amazing, so you certainly haven't. I don't know. You're not. I don't. You don't seem like you're doing as bad as it sounds like you think you are.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I don't
But still,
know anything about it, but
it makes. This isn't something I'm really conveying very well with her accent, but the idea is that like her mouth and like oropharyngeal cavity is starting to transform in a way that like is making speaking very hard. So she's super deliberate and articulate about every word she's saying. So like myself as Daniel, I'm like talking normally, but like she would be like very articulate about everything, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And there's just a little bit of a graveliness in her voice because of that too.
Dang.
Why do I?
Man, I thought you were just a chain smoker. Just kidding.
Hi, my name's Aminah.
I use mage hand to hold my crossbow.
Y'all are gonna kill me.
So, how do we keep this from happening to other people? Mainly, how do I keep this from happening to me again?
That's it.
At that, with all the things that have happening, especially like taking this time to sort of reflect, if I can get Aminah and Sludig to both make an investigation roll.
It's 11 on the die. 12.
15.
So far, you haven't had too much exposure to new people just because of the nature of the town you're in. But I feel as though for at least Aminah, because you had a very direct experience with this idol, it's been with you. And you've seen how people might react to it, and with your experiences, the feeling of it that you felt that very first time has faded. You know that it has some kind of power. And I will go ahead and say, especially with that investigation check, your analysis of it, that it has some kind of power to it. It has a part of her power in it. Very good analysis. But that draw to it that you felt that very first time when you even looked in the reflection and saw this sort of spectral Kamin giving it to you and all this stuff, that draw has almost faded. Now it just seems like a religious idol or an arcane idol. It doesn't have that kind of eldritch, otherworldly pull to it. And the same would be for Portia now. It's sort of lost that kind of like importance. Now it seems just like a weird idol thing. And it almost, basically, it feels like an eye of the storm kind of effect. When you were way outside of it, you didn't even know it existed, you had no idea. But then when you saw it, you sort of knew it was there, it started to draw to you. But then when you picked it up and you sort of overcame it, it came into your possession, and same for all of your companions, the draw faded over time. Like you were in the eye of the storm. It's like you became immune to it. So it's almost as if that there's like a degree of separation from it that it pulls on. But because it is in your possession, and you have effectively overcome it, it's lost its power over you. So with what you've worked through with Portia, and now that Portia is aware of the effect that this idol had on them, you sort of feel confident that that probably won't happen again as long as Portia stays with you. If Portia goes back to their everyday job and becomes just a normal townsperson again, there's a chance that that sort of not sensitization, is that the susceptibility,
something,
sort of the familiarity with it, because it fades, you almost become more susceptible to it. If any of that makes sense, I hope it does. But Aminah, because of your close proximity and experiences, that would kind of sort of start to fall into place.
Interesting. Well,
why don't we just, if that's what they want, why don't we just like destroy it, like get rid of it?
Oh, I thought you were gonna say give it to them, and I was gonna applaud you.
Sludig was about to have a certain reaction.
Why don't we just give it to them?
Yeah, that's what I thought you were gonna say, and I was like,
why don't we just give it to them? Why don't we just
quit?
do what the evil person wants?
leave.
Why don't we just force it the whole campaign? No, what's stopping us from destroying it? I mean, it's just what? Some kind of metal?
Yeah, but I have a feeling that
I cannot hear Daniel.
Oh no.
Can you hear us? Hello?
No, I can't.
Hello?
Fuck me.
Rachel!
Oh no.
You did it again. F's in the chat.
Let's
for
all
Rachel.
blame
Hold
Rachel
on.
for something
I
that
keep
is
talking
not at
for
all
doing
their
nothing.
fault.
Yeah, not at all. Let me @meet more F.
Meep more.
Okay, we're good.
Smeep.
Okay, wait.
Yay.
Why not just destroy it?
Why not
Yeah.
just destroy it?
Why not just melt it down?
Cast
turn
it into the
a
fire.
Well, well,
Sir?
Oh no, it's just gothic Lord of the Rings. Oh no.
Literally, I was like, what if it's like the One Ring and like Aminah's going crazy because
Oh.
she's been carrying it this whole time?
golly.
Scratch everything I just said. New campaign.
Oh my god. If you would just destroy it, you wouldn't be a spider lady anymore.
Well, I mean,
Baggins.
Aminah Baggins.
I was gonna say, if you say that, actually, Portia, do you actually say that? Like, if you destroy it, then it'll end your spider thing?
I mean, I'll probably speculate. I won't say like it will happen, but I'll probably be like, what if that's what's happening?
And Agnes, being the higher education, well-researched person, say like, well, what if it's the opposite? It has the cure. It could stop all of this from happening.
Well, but
hmm.
is it, Aminah, aren't you getting worse? Isn't that what
Well-
you said?
Well, I don't know exactly how we could figure something like that out. I mean, this thing looks pretty solid, and whatever enchantments or dark magics might be on it, I have a feeling that trying to... Wait, do I have a feeling that anything that we try to do to destroy it will just, like, completely, like, nullify it?
I mean, I was gonna say you're pretty accomplished, like arcanist. So
I'll
I
say
feel like you would
that,
know.
yeah, you would have to take a little bit of extra time to fully, like, look at it. It probably wouldn't take long to do, but it's
I
kind of
can
been
throw it on the ground real hard.
hidden a little bit. You can throw it on the ground roller.
You're not
I
my
will.
dad.
So of all of this time, Agnes has been such a good support person. But at this point, I imagine it probably rubs Sludig the wrong way, maybe even Portia the wrong way. But Agnes will chime in and sort of appeal to Aminah specifically and say, I can take it back with me with my research, and we can dissect it, research it, figure out what it is, and maybe craft some kind of antidote from it to figure out what it is, and trying to manipulate the magic. So we could go back and have an entire lab at our disposal to fully research this thing. And you see she's like getting ramped up about it.
Aminah is going to immediately whip around and just stare into her eyes for like a solid, uncomfortably long amount of silence. Just look into her face, investigate it, and make sure that like absolutely nothing has changed since the last minute that she's looked at her.
10 seconds. I will go ahead and say nothing has changed because of her job being the researcher, because this could be, it's a piece of the puzzle. It has interested her from an academic standpoint, but also you don't know what that could end up being, what the Ordinarium would do with that information. Can they be trusted with that kind of information? Would they keep it for themselves? And how long could that take? Is there enough time to do that?
Exactly.
Is that just saying like, hey, we'll take that off your hands. We're going to sacrifice the whole town and everyone in it, but we'll figure it out later. We'll figure out a cure. So it's coming from a good place, but she's thinking with her Ordinarium brain, not her hero brain, like you all typically do.
Main character brain.
Yeah, she doesn't have a main character.
Protagonist brain.
Her main character lobe isn't developed yet.
And at that, Sludic says, Scholar, have you ever lived actually out of whatever's left of this civilization? Out in the Gloam, away in the Badlands? The things you want to research with this are not worth tinkering in. This, any kind of gestures around towards Driftchapel, is one of the last few places that is standing towards the Gloam that can be considered even a small city. And you're trying to tinker with the things that, well, to put it pointedly, people much like yourself were tinkering with when this was brought into the world. You think making new things out of that same magic will make this world a better place? No, if we have a chance to destroy it, we must bring this thing down.
You can see she understands, but she looks up to Aminah and sort of tries to pull on this like, Aminah went to my school. She's an academic. She'll get it. So she looks at Aminah with sort of this like, help me. You have to. You're on my side, right? But doesn't really say anything. Just looks at Aminah like,
my dear, he has a point.
crushed. This poor freaking like grad student just crumbles.
Oh fuck. Oh shit.
She was hoping to get that thing for a grant. Now she can't afford school.
She has to live off Lunchables now.
Oh lordy.
I feel like I just got called out.
It's a
I'm right there with
charcuterie
you,
board
don't
and
worry.
it's cheap.
Oh man. But at that point, you see that it sort of takes her a second. She nods and she starts to make notes, and you see that she's sort of receded into the third person perspective that her notes have been made in, where it's like, this event happened on this day and this time, and she starts writing notes, and even just like a quick glance, it's effectively saying like, local heroes found artifact related to cults and believe that it possesses, and it's very just like factual.
Removed.
Yeah. And sort of just lets it sit that way, and just it's hard to tell just at a quick vibe check of exactly like how she feels about it, but at the very least, like, she's not pushing it, she's not fighting it, she's just
What's what do we do? I mean, I still don't understand why we don't just, I guess because of the magic.
I guess we all assumed it would be impervious to whatever normal means we had to destroy it. Honestly, Aminah, have we even tried? They have a point.
Aminah is just gonna silently take out her dagger and just kind of run it along the statue, like just barely giving it like a tiny scratch, not even trying to like do damage, but just seeing how it reacts to the touch of something sharp.
How do you?
Yeah. What kind of metal is your dagger made of? I'm just kidding.
I was gonna say, wait, really?
So, it is made of gold. It's made of, and I'll say, this is apparent to all of you. I mean, to us, we don't deal with gold very often because we're normal people. But in a place where gold is a currency, you are familiar with it, familiar to its qualities. And it takes a very, 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 very long time for gold to, like, noticeably age. To all of you, this gold is unbelievably old. Like, it is very well aged and, like, rusted and turned all sorts of crazy colors and, just starting to become a little bit brittle almost. But taking your dagger to it, it's still a little soft like gold can be, but it's still very solid. And make an Arcana check, Daniel.
$18.
It resists your blade and any kind of manipulation of it like other magical artifacts would. Like you imagined if you took Sludig's flaming Gasbane cloak and tried to cut through it, it would probably be fairly resistant. Same to the pocket watch. If you try to smash it with a hammer, it'd probably be a little more resistant than a pocket watch typically would be. But it also, like I've said before, it doesn't resonate the same way an evil eldritch thing would in that you've experienced. It doesn't have that kind of a Gloam stank on it, as it were. It has a life to it that is almost a bit tangible, almost like any other magical item. Daniel, do you have the Identify spell?
I do, and since we have done a long rest, I get all the spell slots back. Yeah.
Yes, and there's plenty.
I sure do.
Yes, I'll let you and take time to look at it during your downtime, and of course having people help you as well. Eventually, after some time, and we'll say however many days pass, and you kind of keep regrouping, whatever else. This artifact, just as you thought, does possess some sort of not even just Gloam magic, but beyond Gloam magic, some almost celestial or holy magic to it, but of course probably something vile. But specifically, as you meditate, research, and cast spells on this relic, whoever is holding it, like it is on their person and it is in their possession, they have basically resistance to Katu's magic and will and the effects brought by her and any of her avatars, entities that she wills into the world or can At this point, you're not sure if you've even seen those. You've seen Sathog, the flesh spawns manifestations, but as far as Katus, you're not sure if the deep ones qualify as that, if the cultists do, whatever it might be. But when it is in a person's possession, they are resistant to her will, which sort of feeds into that sort of eye of the storm theory of whoever is closest to it are kind of immune to it. So as you are tinkering with researching and potentially learning how to destroy it, because it is part of her, it creates a buffer for whoever has it, a safe zone almost, like part of her as well, or a child, a secondary, whatever it might be.
OMG.
Well,
Pikachu.
all the more reason for it to stay on us for even longer.
Can we just meta, just dispel magic? If I was any kind of spellcaster, I'd be like, can't we just fucking
Yeet it.
get rid of it?
I don't think
Yeah.
any of us have that capability.
I know.
No.
I am non-magic at all, though. I can punch it.
If your steel dagger, same. I was going to say maybe Zip and Zap could do some damage to it. They seem to be.
Zip and zap. I love that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
I
come
got
up with
these
some
electric
names.
knuckles from the bog witches.
No, wait, for real?
Dead ass.
Dead ass? Dude, that's fucking lit.
Dead
Dead
Dead.
ass.
Dead ass.
Shit. Well,
Actually, don't. If they ever ask you, don't mention that I have them. I'm fairly certain I stole them.
you're not sure?
Well,
As well as a book that contains the entire ocean.
And stop.
That's all I think.
yeah.
But so here's what we'll do, because we're almost 3 hours in.
Oh,
So
shit.
by the end of the week, consumable items made, different dust potions, whatever it is, explosives made, and I guess this is more of just sort of an open-ended question to Bradley. During this time of your assembly line of explosives with Dieter and Matthias, there are plenty of times where you are able to pick up on the fact that Dieter is trying to just it sounds weird to say, but just bro out and try to just be like, hey, we
No.
cool. I'm helping you make these things. I'm trying to be he's trying to be amicable and just normal, but also from the other side forget that anything happened and just let's just move on and do this thing. Are you receptive to that at all?
No.
That's what I thought. Just wanted to check. And of course, Dieter's scared of you, so he's not going to push too hard. He will just make
Fucking
your
good,
bombs. Fucking good, bitch. He will make your explosives as you wish. Matthias does his best. He's probably on the easiest duty of just here's the canister, put the gunpowder in.
Fill it.
Because he has just a lobster.
I don't know. I figured
Yeah.
he's just over there cutting fuses to size with.
Oh yeah, he's got the little. Eventually, though, as the week comes to a close and things have been made, and you start to regroup once you're starting to feel a bit better. I need it. Where? Eventually, about halfway through the week, of course, some of you are traveling back and forth either to the Ortis shop, to get supplies outside, doing whatever, and just occasionally, again, it's sort of unclear and a bit haunting. Occasionally, you will see the mayor's mansion just entirely made of flesh. And then when you blink and look back again, it's not that way. But you still get this strange sense of that something is wrong. Whatever that is, it hasn't left. It's just doing a good job of hiding, it seems. But also, as the week comes to a close, all of you notice, but probably especially Sludig, given your background and your proficiencies, a storm rolls in. That's normal in Driftchapel, but it's a little bit harder. There's more mist, the wind is faster, and it doesn't seem like it's going to end anytime soon. And basically the last 2 or 3 days of the week, you wake up, it's raining, you go to sleep, it's raining. Just endless. And it eventually dawns on you it is not a natural storm. And yes, Rachel.
Does it, like, is it still, like, day-night time?
It's still day-night time, but it's so much overcast that it's basically just like nighttime and then gray time and then nighttime again.
I ask that because, like, do I need to be lighting lamps 24/7? Like, is it that overcast?
It's about that overcast, but I will also leave it up to you because at about that time, the last 2 or 3 days of the week, Portia would notice a few things. As being home to Driftchapel, there are fewer people, like Kieran noticed earlier that week. Every day there's slightly fewer people in the streets. And then eventually by the last 2 or 3 days, you're kind of doing the rounds, you're lighting a few lamps, checking on people, and hardly anyone's answering their doors. And then finally you go check on that, your neighbors, that mother and child that you've kind of looked after such a tragedy happened to their family. And they're not there at all.
Is there evidence of them being there ever?
It looks like they got up and left. Which you knew they were in no state
Like they
to
packed
do.
up?
No.
They
got
just
up
aren't
and
there
left.
anymore.
Yeah.
They walked out the door.
Yep. So that is up to you whether you keep on lighting the lamps at that point, or if you resort to staying in your room or staying with the party at the lighthouse.
I will keep lighting the lamps
Admirable.
as best I can, which means I'll probably be like sleep deprived and stuff, but whatever. I'm a nocturnal being for the sake of my work.
That's fair. So with that, we'll assume that at some point at the end of the week, you all kind of regroup to a nice lobster dinner from Sludig.
Don't mind the third claw.
It's extra meat.
Yeah.
And I'll go ahead and ask. At the end of this week, you're more than welcome to try and keep taking some downtime. Of course, conditions seem to be worsening. What is your proposal for your next move? Where do you want to go search next? What do you want to go do? As far as you know, I will go ahead and say, because I assume maybe Kieran would go check on Lavidia King just to be like, hey, what's up? And she's fine. Her shop is her shop is in disarray. And because you did previously say, like, what's that cellar back there? That's where she fled to when her shop turned to flesh for a little while. And some of her taxidermied animals came back to life for a little bit as flesh monsters and ran around. Yeah, she described something pretty horrific, but she fled down to her cellar for safety. And when she came back up, it was normal. She just put
Were they back in place?
No, she had to put them back in place.
Okay.
Were they in different poses?
Normal asterisk.
Did her dead husband's body change?
It grew flesh, no skin, just flesh, and
What?
ran around. It was horrible.
No skin, just flesh.
Just
What
just
does
muscle.
that even
Get that person some
Muscle and fat
therapy.
Yeah, she's not doing good, but effectively she is more or less okay.
Just a normal day in Driftchapel. Liquor.
More or less she is okay. So and if you ask her about anything weird, she does say that Horace Mason has not been visiting her since that day. For his regular bloodlettings. And as
how on the level does she seem with like what's actually going on Gloomy wise?
How on the level?
Like, if I tell her, that guy you've been bleeding every week is a horrible flesh monster, turned your house to flesh. I shot him in the head a couple times.
She's definitely not aware as Agnes would be. Lavidia seems a little more spacey about it, like as if it were a dream. Like, it's stuff that definitely happened, but she assumes that it's just like, you know, crazy evil glow magic. She doesn't seem like as aware of the deep lore of the cultists and the flesh spawn, all this kind of stuff.
I will let her know that the Mayor Horace Mason may or may not have succumbed to some Gloam magic.
And at this point also, there have been a bit fewer customers than normal. And she'll say, I mean, I'm gonna have to pack up shop soon, and I don't know, recommend anywhere?
No, everywhere is basically shit now. Away from the coast, move inland.
All right. Great, wonderful.
If you do decide to remain here for a time and need somewhere to exist semi-comfortably and peacefully, we have set up a bit of a gathering in the lighthouse. You are more than welcome to accompany us there.
Oh,
I don't know if he'll
Matthews.
fit though.
Oh.
And I point at the skeleton.
I'll think about it. You're staying here?
Well, no, this is your house. I
No,
live at the
in
lighthouse.
in town with all the stuff going on.
Unfortunately. But let's just say if we have anything to do about it, hopefully this place won't be so bad after a while.
Thank you. And like I said, slightly fewer customer base lately, so here, let me see what I have. And she will, for you, refill sort of your healer's kit and provide you enough stuff. Effectively, an extra healer's kit. So if you wanted, if you need extra stuff of that, or if you wanted to bestow that to someone else, you can as well.
What are y'all gonna do with it? Stabilize me?
What are you gonna do? Stabilize me? And
Actually,
then,
that sounds wonderful.
and basically she will also, they're much more lo-fi than what Agnes has, but she will give you 2 regular potions of healing.
Hell
They're
yeah!
basically just the equivalent of like get up juice, where it's just like, here you go, good luck. Whereas it's not actually
Espresso
like
shots.
it's not
Oh,
fully
it's
magic.
old-fashioned cough medicine that's got like cocaine and weird.
Basically, it's really lo-fi.
It's
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 toothpaste with
Coca-Cola.
sugar.
Sure. But yeah, she'll give you that, and basically says that she'll be locking up shop for the time being, and she may make her way over to the lighthouse if she can part with basically what she refers to as like her family.
There's some room on the 3rd floor. You could bring some of the smaller ones.
I'll think about it. Good luck.
Same to you.
I can't even begin to. Oh, and she hands you a rabbit's foot.
Well, thank you. May it bring me luck.
And she will turn the closed sign on her taxidermist shop. Lock the door behind you. I keep saying, and with that, I guess now, what is sort of your next move? You kind of have an idea of who's safe in town, who wasn't, and basically, what's your next move? Where are you gonna go? What are you gonna tackle next?
I will let them know that the chapel we visited is being someone or something is repairing the space, but the body of Finch,
Yeah.
what was his name,
Mhm.
is still in the bell tower.
Do I know what the chapel like? Are
It-
there people there a lot?
You are a lamplighter, so you even said you are nocturnal.
Yeah.
There,
Yeah.
About
This-
Night Church.
this chapel is of an old god. You probably might not know exactly what god it was at the time, but it's just been this old decrepit church at the edge of town for as long as anyone can remember. But even as being nocturnal, there's been people congregating at that church late at night. The whole time.
Just people?
What the fuck?
Definitely bad people, but people congregate.
Definitely bad
Yeah.
people. Cool. Tight.
Toy.
So y'all went in there?
We investigated the place.
And did you find anything?
If you remember when I was telling you about Kamin and the tunnels, we found a tunnel much like the one we went through that leads up into the chapel.
As well as a
A strange
eccentric individual.
and a strange rune in the floor that I believe had something to do with Sathog. We destroyed it, if my memory serves correctly.
Where is the entrance to this tunnel to the chapel?
Likely
Also, when
somewhere
did you
in the
go?
ocean.
Oh, great. Cool. So kind of one way.
For those of us who breathe solely air, yes.
Many of these creatures are water breathing, especially the fish people. Surely you've seen them.
Yep, I'm familiar. Did you go like daytime? Or have you been when there were...
I think we went, because it was while we were just kind of doing a stroll around the town, right? That was
Yeah.
daytime.
Because there's some happenings, I'm sure you're aware, there, during my regular work times. And if it's any bit related to what's going on, which I'm sure it is, it would definitely be worth investigating.
Perhaps it may also behoove us to investigate the mayor's abode. If
Yeah,
we
what
believe...
the fuck?
Yeah, and we all saw that like throughout the week, right? At different
Yes,
points.
at
It's
different
just, like
points,
corner
just-
of our eye, it's fleshy.
Yep,
Yeah.
basically. Or like, even just something as simple as the street is muddy and you step into it and your foot slops into the mud. There's that brief instance of it's flesh. And then you look down, it's mud again.
Don't
What
like
the
You know
that.
that
fuck?
feeling when you step on
To
people
quote
if
Rachel,
you've all done
I
that.
hate that.
Of course.
I hate that.
I hate that.
Add quote, I
Thanks,
hate that.
it.
So I mean, I don't
I mean,
know
that's-
if it's worth a second trip, but it might be useful to go there again at night.
Certainly. I mean, having two angles to investigate, we might be able to find something useful. If nothing else, if people are congregating in the chapel, well, maybe we can squash the meeting place.
If they're attempting to
That's a good
rebuild
emo. Sorry.
attempting to rebuild the rune that we destroyed.
Yes,
Yeah.
That was a thing that happened.
Well, given the
It's the
choice
fixed patch, the one right before you
between
get to
having
the
to
patch.
fight either a crowd of
It's
individuals
the one after that
who
goes
are
to the
vaguely
patch.
human versus one individual who can literally alter our perception of time and space and the flesh, I'm more inclined to go after those in the chapel, because at least then we know things like this, gestures to our respective weapons, can actually do a decent bit of damage.
Are we planning on killing them? Is that the plan?
Depending on the type of person and people who are gathering there, if they're here rebuilding the ruins that are meant to bring Sathog into this world, and they don't go away peacefully, well, my goals are in line with the ending of Katu. If these people are so far lost that they cannot see what they do will harm themselves, others around them, I feel as though it is the last kindness we can give them is to put them to rest.
You got me at the
For
end
one, at least.
there. I was against it. I was hesitant, but you got me at the end with the kindness thing. You're very persuasive.
Sludic's got the long haul for the emotional investment in
I
trying
know.
True.
Oh man. Jeez. So is that the plan?
Chapel.
Chapel at 9?
Chapel.
If nothing else, maybe it'll weaken Sathog before we go if they've built that rune back.
And that storm is still happening?
Yep.
Just like an eternal storm.
Basically.
Ooh.
Nice.
I don't know what I'm gonna do about the lamps.
But with a plan of the next day preparing to go tackle the chapel at that night, storm continuing, we will stop there and we'll pick up next week. Not next week, but next session, obviously. But before that, you reach level 11.
Ah! Hell yeah, brother.
Hey. Yes.
Hell
So,
yeah.
I know Drew has been begging for a level up for
Yep.
so many sessions.
What was
No,
it you
it's
said last
okay.
time? Can I just have a level? Is that what you
can I
said?
have that?
Can I just, free gift?
That.
I
Can I
can
just
has
have one?
this.
So
I
the main
can have.
things, of course, roll for your hit points. So D8s, D10s, or D12s. I guess, yeah. Drew,
No.
are you taking
I'm taking a monk level.
taking a monk level?
Oh,
Me
yeah.
too.
Bradley, what are you taking?
Fighter.
Fighter.
Hmm.
Um,
I
Daniel,
have
what are you taking?
a thing about.
I'm
Yeah,
having
we
to
would
look
clear
up
because
what
you
happens
were
when I level
Barbarian.
up because I'm a noob.
I was actually just pulling up your table because there's a couple things. Your sneak attack goes up by 1d6, so you have now 6d6 sneak attack.
Solid.
Fuck.
Oh my god.
I rolled a
Sneaky,
9.
sneaky.
I rolled a
I rolled a
7.
2, but I have durable, so
And-
it's actually a 6.
Nice.
Daniel, oh man, Daniel at freaking
Let's
get the
11th
fun
level
part, right?
rogue, you get something called reliable talent.
I see that. Yeah.
Reliable
Holy
talent.
cow! So when
Yeah.
you roll a skill that
dear.
you're proficient in, you treat any d20 roll as a 10 or higher. So you can't roll lower than a 10 on your proficient skills, ever.
Sweet.
Holy shit!
So I just get the thing where I'm immune to poison. Is that what it is? Oh wait, I have that at 10th level. Never mind.
And
I
then of
get
course
a hoot.
Daniel. Before we forget, you also get to roll a d8, and then add your Constitution modifier to that roll, and that your maximum hit points increases by that much.
I'm sorry, it's
Oh,
D8.
wait.
You just said it. D8 plus what?
Constitution modifier.
Constitution modifier. Okay. I get 7 extra hit points. Fuck yeah.
And so this is mostly for the OG3. Really, mostly just the OG2, because you are the ones who have taken the most short rests and whatnot. You only regain half of your spent hit dice. on a long rest. So it's brutal, I know, but it's just the game. So however many hit dice you are short, you only regain half that amount.
Okay.
Do we regain our hit points all the way?
Yes. So completing a long rest, you still regain your maximum hit points. You only regain half the spent hit dice.
Okay.
It's basically just all the normal stuff. It just takes a week.
Right.
Nobushi Nueve, I like it too. It is brutal, but I think as far as pacing goes, the week-long rests are preferable, especially for a game specifically like this where it's extra brutal, or for a game like if you were running, I don't know, like Tomb of Annihilation, where it's a lot of travel, like hex crawl campaigns. I think a week-long long rest is gold, because you could go days without an encounter, and that's no fun if you just long rest after each one. I don't know.
It adds some thrill to it, because we can't just run in and be stupid and get impaled every day and then wake up the next day and be fine.
Yeah, and
Right.
it definitely is dependent on the like if you were doing a dungeon crawl campaign, dude, fuck that would
This
suck.
would suck.
Dick.
You would be so restrained in what you could do. It'd be like, time to never use any of my abilities
Ever.
and hope that, when we come into the one room that I need it, I have it.
Yep.
And
But
then you die because you don't use any of your abilities.
Exactly. But if you're doing something more like travel oriented, or generally long form, or like this where it's horror based, like I think the longer resting rules A+. And I kind of wish in hindsight that'd be a really good Icewind Dale thing, just because of how rough and tumble Icewind Dale can be. But at the same time, if you add extra stuff on top of Icewind Dale, it could suck real bad.
Yeah.
So, but I definitely like it. It's definitely a change of pace.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, absolutely. Of course.
So my 11th level feature as a Kensei monk is...
You're a what?
I'm a what? I guess you can put it in the layout now that I'm a Kensei monk.
Damn it, Rachel.
But you can just put like lamplighter instead. That's basically the same,
I mean, that's
right?
what it is, but...
So it says, as a bonus action, you can expend up to 3 key points to grant one Kensei weapon you touch a bonus to attack and damage rolls when you attack with it. The bonus equals the number of key points you spent, so minimum of 3. Maximum of 3, sorry.
It's like sliding.
This bonus lasts for 1 minute or until you use this feature again.
That's dope.
So is it whichever is like up to 1 minute, or like it lasts maximum a minute and you can use it again?
So let's say you
Within a
decided
minute?
to put 1 key point into it and you're like, that's not enough damage. I'm going to put 2 into it to get plus 2 damage. It would restart the minute clock, is all that is.
But it's a minute.
Yes.
It's not like a minute, or if you use it
Forever.
again in 8
1 minute
hours.
or forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. So that just says that it like resets if I use it
basically.
again with it. Okay, gotcha. I don't know. If
Oh man, good thing this is a low magic campaign, because the qualifier is that it can't be a magic weapon.
Yeah, the feature has no effect on a magic weapon.
Yeah.
There are definitely improved Kensei out there. What do you mean by improved Kensei? Like rules?
Oh, I'm sure. Monk is like Monk and Ranger are just the butt of homebrew creators of just making better versions of what exists, which is fair.
It doesn't work so good as written. Oh yeah, I've heard okay things about Kensei.
I feel
it was
like,
mostly a flavor choice.
Yeah, and I also feel like with what we just said, where like this is a low magic thing, that's going to be super useful.
Yeah,
like that's going to be hella
You're
useful.
able to
but
turn
in a
your weapon into a +3 weapon.
as a bonus action, but like in a high magic campaign, that would not be very that would not work like that.
Yeah,
would not be as
At least
good.
key points are based on short rests.
Yeah.
Yes, that is the nice thing. I mean, the first time I played a monk, I played the 4 elements thing, and it was so terrible. It
It's bad.
sucked.
It's bad.
Absolute booty hole.
It's the Beastmaster Ranger of monks.
Tasha.
Well,
Yeah.
honestly,
It
Beastmaster was
sounds
better.
so cool.
Because you never
It does.
used any of those elemental things.
Any of those
ever.
elements.
Very rarely.
Because you were
yeah.
like, why would I do
remember
that
you-
when
It
I could
was
stun
more
it?
Burning
efficient.
Hand
Yeah, it was
tool.
more efficient to just like hit someone.
Mhm.
Very
Yeah.
rarely did I use that.
Anywho, Bradley, what
Gotcha.
did you get at this 11th level fighter stuff?
Well, it's 8th level
11th,
fighter.
yeah, 8th level.
Either level I picked, I got an ability score increase, so I gotta figure out what I'm doing.
Oh, are you leaning towards something?
Oh, I'm getting a feat because feats are fun.
Yeah.
I have no idea what feat I'm gonna get though, because I basically already have all the feats that I was looking at before. So
I
I'm like, I don't know.
I'm gonna
You.
message you about something.
Please do.
Specifically, there is a setting book that I had gotten from like a giveaway thing. That it's effectively a like piratey seafaring campaign setting. I love it, and I'm super eager to run something in it. But because of that, there's also a crap load of subclasses for seafaring campaigns, and also feats and races and stuff. But because of that, there's also a lot of like firearms-based things. So I'm gonna look at those and send some to you and see if those are appealing.
yeah.
I know one of them is basically crossbow expert, but for firearms. But there's all sorts of other ones that I'll send your way because that's very cool to me.
Sweet.
And Drew, what was your monk thing?
Since I'm an 8th level monk, I get an ASI. I'm
What'd
gonna
you
take
do?
a feat, and I'm gonna take the Fighting Initiate feat to get the Unarmed
Oh.
Fighting style,
Nice.
which allows
Nice.
me to, as long as I'm using no other weapons or shield in my offhand, it's just my unarmed strikes, I deal d8s instead of d6s. Now, I guess that is up to you. Do zip and zap count as unarmed strikes for that case? Or...
Sure.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Does it
And
just go up a die?
it
or
does
does
that,
it-
and at the start of each turn, if I'm grappling someone, I'm able to do 1d4 points of
I'm
bludgeoning.
saying he's
Oh,
also got like the
nice.
grappler stuff and
Nice. I almost did that, but
Let me check, because the Crusher feat is also really good in Tasha. so I
Oh,
want to make
yeah.
sure.
that'd
I
be
want to see if
interesting.
that's what I want.
That would be interesting.
Yes.
Love it.
I've gone too
And
far.
oh, F in the chat, Daniel, you might get some spells or some shit. That's such a pain in the ass. I'm so sorry.
Wait, really? What? I thought.
Daniel,
miss
you
something?
learn. You don't get any more spell slots, but you just learn one extra spell.
Good luck
Um,
deciding which one.
Okay. Does it
Yeah.
have to be like? Because I got
I
cantrips
don't know.
level 1 and
Arcane
level
Trickster
2.
has so much. So you can replace an old spell, enchantment or illusion, but we specifically. I'll message you about it. There's a specific.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll message you about it. And I'll message you a list because who knows when we're gonna play again. Fireball. Yeah, just take Fireball. Stealthing around and then just. Just nuke it.
everybody hydrate.
Everybody hydrate.
Uh,
Even you,
Okay.
chat,
Even if chat-
aka
Where
even
else
you,
is there?
Nobushi,
Yeah, freaking
whoever
Nobushi.
else is in chat. Those of you watching at home, the VOD.
I
Hydrate.
see a cat at Townley in the chat right
Ma'am?
now.
You better hydrate.
And of course, Justin's here. Mr.
Justin?
Warlock.
Better hydrate.
Foolish Warlock.
Drink that water.
And then just a lot of bots. Let's shout out to the bots here.
All those bots.
Hey,
Better
we
hydrate.
love them bots. Pump
Shout out
those
to
viewer
Trash.
numbers up.
They don't though. That's what I
Oh,
don't get is
no.
that
Yeah,
they
no, they
don't.
don't. They
Because they're
don't.
like lurking and so they don't count and they what's the
Hmm,
point of the
It's a whole thing. Like,
I
yeah,
don't-
it's a whole thing.
it's a whole thing.
Hey, thanks for giving us
Cody
a sub.
got
to
a
Cody!
sub.
What's up? Thank you for giving us a sub,
Nice.
Nobushi Nueve.
Woo!
Thank
you.
you.
Yay!
Now
I wish
Cody
you
has
could
to
gift
show up for my
follows.
streams. Speaking of streams, I am before we end because we're just chatting at this point. I am wanting to stream a video game this upcoming week. And I want to know what type of video game I should stream.
I
You're gonna
think
stream
you
a
should
video game
stream either the first Horizon game, Zero Dawn, if you haven't played it already. But if you have, you should stream the newest one that's about to come out because I'm so excited for it. I saw it at the gym and I'm like, I need it. I have a mighty need.
I have a mighty need.
I just started playing it like last week. It is the first one. So good. Such a good game.
I need to play it. I need
so
to.
good.
I wanted to for so long, but my graphics card couldn't handle it because I bought it while it was on sale and downloaded it, and there was like, no. So
Good
I got
try, bud.
I got a new card over Christmas break, so I finally was able to play it.
Nice.
So good.
Nice.
Love to get computer parts for Christmas.
Right.
I felt bad. That was an expensive computer card.
Listen,
Yeah.
I said to my dad about because I don't have a separate graphics card. I don't think. I don't think I do.
Do you have it integrated?
Yeah. But I didn't have one, and my dad, he built his own PC and he got a graphics card because he was doing like video processing and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, maybe I'll put a graphics card on my wish list. And he was like, you never know. And I was like, no, you're not doing that. You're not doing that. I don't think I even put it on my wish list, but I did put a hard drive on there. My sister got me one, which is nice.
need
Now
to
I can
get a hard
download
drive, too.
all the
Started a
games.
poll.
Ooh.
What
Wait,
type of video
Vampire
game is
Survivors. What is that? What? Who
That
is
is
that a game?
interesting.
That sounds cool.
that? Cozy Grove? Question mark! Exclamation point. Agree. Something actiony. Ooh, I can spend tings to vote more.
Yeah.
Oh, extra
Mm.
votes.
Yo, Vampire Survivors, that it doesn't look like a game I would like, but I'm super it has like this crazy pixel style. What the fuck?
If
You
you're
know
ever
what you
looking
should do,
for
Loki.
A roguelike
Go ahead.
game. Interesting.
Loki, you should play a romance game because Valentine's Day.
Okay, I'll play Cyberpunk and just have sex with all the sex workers.
Not what I meant, but okay. Play Monster Prom.
I
Yes,
like
say
that you
Monster
said
Prom.
that's not what I meant, but okay.
Okay.
if that's what makes you happy, I guess.
Oh man.
What do you mean by something actiony?
I don't know. You know, like in
Sex with
action
who now?
games. Like, yeah, I don't know. Let me see what action is described.
You want the
Batman
best
games?
D&D game ever released, and that they just did a major
It
graphics
isn't.
overhaul?
Is it a Neverwinter game?
Neverwinter Nights.
I actually,
yeah,
Jacob,
Ooh.
shout out
They
to the
just did a.
J
Oh, sorry.
Todd. Jacob actually gifted me. Oh, geez. Hold on, I'm trying to find it in my library. Oh no, is it under MMO? No. I mean, there is Neverwinter, but hold on.
Yep,
Oh,
not that.
Yeah, you
not
have
that.
it.
Don't play that.
Neverwinter Nights Enhanced Edition.
Oh yeah, that's it, baby.
He gifted that
it's
to
so
me.
good.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, brother.
It is well worth the playthrough. Whether or not you want to stream it, I do highly recommend playing it. They just re-updated the graphics. It looks pretty good. You can definitely tell it's a early 2000s computer game, but the gameplay, fantastic. The story for the D&D is just great.
I mean, if I
Would
go
you
back and still play like
experience-
Oblivion, I'm sure I will still go back and enjoy this.
Baldur's Gate's supposed to get a new update on the 15th.
Like a big
Don't
old
know
one?
what's going to be in it. Well, they're announcing it on the 15th, and
Oh.
usually when they do announcements, it's the bigger ones. So who knows?
Ooh,
Wait,
I
Nobushi
still
I
Haven't
don't
haven't.
think it's going to be as
What?
big as this last one because this last
I
one
I
was
haven't even
bad.
gotten through all the content from the last
Warning,
one.
though, it is 3rd edition D&D.
Wait, what?
For
Neverwinter?
Neverwinter Nights. Yeah.
Oh my god, Nobushi Nueve, you're
Crunchy.
not lying. There is a romance game called Sex with Hitler, not
Yeah.
suitable for work. It is very sexual, lots of bare boobies.
You know who I think probably has played that game?
Ian?
Ian.
I like how I didn't hear.
Do
it
not
laughing
play sex with Hitler. Oh my god.
I didn't even know that was real. I'm gonna have to send that to Ian. I'll gift it to him. It's only like $5.
Well, check if it's
You
in his
go to
inventory
his
already,
account,
though.
you see
Yeah.
100 hours played.
Oh my god.
Already owns this game.
He
Left a
fucking
5-star
loves
review.
games. Bonkers.
Leaves a 0-star review. You look at the time of review, it's halfway through the amount of hours he's played.
Oh, that's horrible to wish it away. Why do you even know that exists?
Yeah, why do you know that exists?
The rabbit hole of you might actually
Of
like
course
this if you
there's
got
also-
this.
You liked
A
Monster
sex
Prom,
with
you'll
Stalin.
like ass
Sex
fucking Hitler.
Oh my god. Alright, I think it's time to end this.
There's
stream.
also. Can't wait to cut this out of the video.
What's the weather like in Driftchapel?
Yeah. Rachel, you're the new person.
Steamy.
Portia,
It's-
what is the
it's
weather like in
steamy.
Driftchapel? It's what?
It's steamy, is what it is.
It is.
Yeah, it is. It's
Oh
fucking.
dear.
Oh jeez.
Thank you everyone for hanging out. Thank you to Bush for hanging out. Thank you Chester for giving us subs. Thank you for everyone who was here.
Have a good night, everyone.
Have a wonderful night. We'll see you.
Bye.
Charn, 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 charn.